Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Let's see. Shield of Faith. Where are my spells? Do I not have Shield of Faith? Oh, I do.
Also, I didn't even see the wooden dice that guy made.
Hey, welcome to the Wileyverse.
Hello.
We're back.
Long time no
Wes
see.
here. We are a bunch of guys that play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Someone else want to do the intro? I have to fix some things on this.
Well, do you want to go over what we've done so far, or just the basic intro?
Basic intro for now.
Go ahead.
Basic
I gotta
intro.
find my spell.
So, the four of us have played D&D briefly together in a couple of different campaigns, some of them more basic than others. We decided that our first foray as a group would be all Dragonborn. So we are all Dragonborn. We have some magical aptitude, we have some backgrounds that are shared, and we have been doing our best to protect our nation and our people from an oncoming threat that our Lord and patron Savroth has seen in dreams. So we are seeing what we think is Tiamat destroying us.
Tiamat is one of the enemies, but Tymanther has an enemy in a nation that has a immortal god king who hates you, and he's also trying to side with Tiamat.
So our Lord and patron had a great, grand, nasty dream right at the same time as a kind of a party we were having, like a...
Well, I mean, I literally spoke to somebody.
No, he spoke to me. So we've been spending the rest of our time chasing down Tiamanther and Tiamat and doing our best to...
No.
Someone else?
One second.
You getting it wrong? Did you get it wrong?
I got it wrong, apparently.
You found
Yeah,
Tiamat?
you guys are not fighting Tiamat or doing anything with Tiamat.
We're chasing Tiamat.
No, you're not.
I think-
You have a big metal rock in your box,
We're trying to make the fucking god weapon to fight Tiamat.
Well, we don't
but you're
know.
not chasing her. You know where she's going to be.
I got told by basically what I took as a vessel of Bahamut that the only way to save our people was to go on this journey across the seas, land, whatever, and find this.
Picture gossip
Way
or
better.
whatever.
Just-
Way better than mine is.
Just
Yeah.
find something to save our people, and then that led us to the Pinion and the, what do we call it, Platamantium.
The Platamantium shard,
Yeah.
a piece of what could possibly be Bahamut's weapon.
I hit somebody with it. And
Despite the misconceptions, we are attempting to save our people through prophetic visions of our Lord and...
Which is him.
So,
He runs our clan. We're very close-knit. We are very service-oriented. We do our best to promote the clan. We promote the
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
love of the clan, that kind of thing. Anyway, so we've come quite a long ways, and now we are on a boat on our way to Fire Shear in an attempt to forge a piece of Platamantium into the god weapon Zunshe.
Possibly.
So we might be able to fight off Tiamat if he is our ultimate.
Her.
If she is our ultimate enemy. In the meantime, we've spent a lot of time learning about each other, getting to know each other, blurring the lines of what's acceptable in Dragonborn culture. That's for sure.
That's true. It's true.
That's very true.
Very
If there's
uncomfortable.
anything that we've done so far is we've blurred some lines.
All right.
Part of it's
The
my
dancing.
fault. This one.
So,
The dancing. The fist fighting humans.
Yeah.
for the larger
money.
overview,
Yeah.
Like that's a blurred line right there.
this is 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Wileyverse. We're on here every Wednesday. Down at the end there is Robert playing the Paladin.
I'm the paladin, right?
You're the Paladin.
It's been a while.
Rofros. In the middle is
That's Rolfrost.
Mitch playing Xerinax, the Arcane Trickster Rogue. And he is their kind of liaison to the outside world. The rest
Guide.
The rest of them grew up in the Dragonborn Society. He was kind of a journeyman. He was out on the oceans plying trade and learning about the world. Right here is Dayton playing Lord Savroth, a noble of the clan and the leader of this expedition. He is a cleric of Bahamut and follows the example of Bahamut, doesn't worship the god. The Dragonborn are pretty specifically not worshippers of things above them. They follow examples.
Yeah, we're realists.
I am Wiley. I am the GM, so I'm everyone else besides these three. Also, I am Ayasa, their wizard, who has gone with them, the enigmatic, odd, and unusually distant wizard.
Yeah.
So,
Artillery cannon.
I just want to show these off. Mitch got me some dice for Ayasa.
Oh, cool.
They're the gold and reds.
I haven't seen those.
So
Yeah.
you've seen these, right? These
Yeah, so
are-
he's got silver and
yeah.
blue for him, and I now have gold
throw
and
one in there. I
red.
don't want to touch them.
That's awesome.
Throw one in there for him to look
Oh,
at.
So
Holy
that is
smokes. That's
because Ayasa
thousands.
is a gold dragonborn who specializes in fire magic.
I'm also
So-
bad enough luck that I'm not allowed to touch other people's dice because I can single-handedly fuck up an entire party.
Also, I have to say this because it got brought up. I will only be using these to roll for Ayasa.
Makes sense.
So these will not be rolled against the
Ooh,
party.
they sound good shook together.
Yeah.
That was it. We thought shark.
Our group is 7th level. They have been on a ship heading north, a ship of Northmen. They're like Vikings, basically. They've been heading north, and they got attacked by Marrow, a demonic merfolk. And after repelling the attack and pretty much wiping out all of the Marrow, the captain of the ship let them know that Marrow keep large treasure hoards. Everything that they raid and take, they keep somewhere underwater. So a group, with the help of a druid and a water-breathing spell, went after the hoard. They went swimming and down into a shipwreck where they. What?
I got bit by a shark.
I
was very disappointed.
What? Disappointed. in me.
Yeah, because of last week.
What happened last?
What didn't happen last week?
You waking up.
The best part of waking up.
Folgers in your.
All right. So they went down to the depths. They defeated the guard sharks, and figured out the maze that these trapped maze that these Marrow put, and found a large cache of treasures that these Marrow have been raiding on the coast here. And that's where we are right now. We're just going to kind of finish that up. But there's one thing I want to make clear about the next part of the journey. You're on your way to Fireshear because that's where the ship has to go to drop cargo off. You need to get to Ironmaster, which is past Fireshear. So you have no business in Fireshear. They do. They're just going to stop, drop off cargo, and continue on their way with you to Ironmaster, where they agreed to take you. So just a clarification on that.
That's what I thought. I have a plan for that.
All right. So you're down there. You're helping them pull up this treasure that they're putting into big nets, and they have rope that they're running back and forth and hauling it up onto their ship. When you're looking around down there, you specifically, as they're moving things and all this stuff, see a pretty big patch of soft earth and silt at the bottom, and there's something in it. There's a little kind of like, just catches your eye through the seaweed, little kind of silvery glint, and then you can kind of see a leather wrap below that. It looks like something's been buried into the dirt.
Do you see a leather rat?
Wrap.
Rat.
Just a little leather rat.
Very curious sight indeed.
Underwater rat. Right, because we're still underwater.
You were still underwater.
Blah, I said.
Well, let me swim down and investigate this.
How do you want to investigate it? You want to poke it? You want to lick it? You want
Not gonna.
to?
One of them
There's
is
a
the
bullet on
lickers. I don't like things. I'll just kind of push seaweed away or whatever.
Do that, and yeah, it looks
try
like the end of a handle with like a silver pommel or end of a something, a grip.
You make me reach out and grab it, aren't you?
I mean, I'm not going to make you do that.
You can certainly try.
You can certainly try. I'm not going to make you do crap.
Alright, I'll reach out and grab it.
All right.
Fuck it.
So you reach out and you touch it, and the silver kind of like shines a little bit more. And as you like pull and raise it up, the earth just kind of comes free around it, and you pull up this scepter like this long with a big flanged head on the top, all kind of ornate, and it just comes out and starts glowing silver underneath the water.
God.
And everyone like all your crew and all three of you see, or you two see this thing come out of the ground. It is pretty obvious that this thing was probably shining, and the marrow buried it to stop it from shining.
That's good. We had a lot of rats.
But it's like a big, it's essentially a mace. It's kind of like a scepter rod mace thing.
It's just sitting there.
Very.
How far away from it? Are we split up?
No, you're down in the treasure hold,
Okay.
putting boxes and crates and treasure chests into nets where they're pulling them up through the cargo hatch.
I kind
And he just.
I kind of give like this applause. It doesn't really work very well on the water. It's like,
It sounds like this.
I mean, this is supposed to be like the cool reward of the battle,
Yeah.
but we didn't get to the reward part of it, and then we hadn't played for 2 weeks, so this is like greatly diminished in the whole thing.
And Dayton's character gets the fucking reward.
What's wrong with that? Damn
I
it.
think you know what's wrong with that.
You made my shark eyes feel better. Whoa! I started digging in the sand. Obviously, there's good shit in there.
The Herseer like looks over at you and just kind of gives us approving nod.
That's a good point. I think I kind of follow Rofrost's.
And start looking
You're
around.
really going to be digging the dirt a little bit. And
I
find
mean,
the
you can see if there's anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
they're finishing pulling all the crates up, so you can kind of search what's left.
We want to
Yeah.
scramble and dig in the dirt a little bit.
Okay.
And you just
I mean, I get the idea that they're probably trying to hide the light, but
Yeah.
Bit of glowing rod.
Yeah.
It's magical.
what else is glowing down here? Just
Yeah.
like this, just like billowing. You
Yeah, you're making it all murky and this kind of stuff
And
down
then,
here.
like digging while we push each other aside. Like, no.
You find nothing else. No, sorry.
Bookworms.
Oh.
I mean, there is now. I have to say that when I say you find nothing else, you find nothing else that's been hidden.
It's
You
a bit.
just hauled up like 2 tons worth of chests,
Oh, man.
crates, treasures, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
Those marrow fucked up.
I'll
Well,
say
they're
in,
dead, so.
in I just need to hear it one time just so I can just have it in my head. Do we speak? What's our native language? Is it Draconic?
You speak Draconic when you're at
It's
home.
Draconic. Okay. I'm gonna say in Draconic. Do you think they're good at sharing these seafarers? But we didn't. Did they go out to fight?
Who are you asking?
Anybody who cares.
You're talking about
to
the
hear
people
me in
that
the-
you've been like
Fighting
buddying
and
up
dying,
with
yeah.
and fighting and dying and creating all this camaraderie. Now you're going to question them.
No, I mean like not seriously. You know, it's an exciting time. We just found treasure. I love shiny things.
You do.
I do.
Very
I
distracted by it.
genuinely do.
Okay, but
It's a really cool,
Okay.
really cool stick. You just found.
So if there's nothing else,
It's
go
pretty
around.
tall.
Wait, what the? Why did the music stop?
It's up a long time ago.
Yeah, you are here.
um,
Gosh, where you been, man? It's been weeks.
so what exactly is this thing like made out of?
Jeez, man.
Like, what
Sorry,
is,
Wes. I got
I know you were
pneumonia.
kind of describing it, but like
I had to take a couple days off.
scepter, a mace, like is it metal?
It's metal, yeah, with leather hand wraps.
What do you mean, I'm like, get a sponsor today.
Mhm. We are not sponsored by Moosehead, but we are open your sponsorship.
We will drink.
We will
Moose
drink
head.
your beer all day, every day.
Yeah, if you want to pay for our beer, we'll drink it on the feed
Moosehead. You're talking to Moosehead right now.
or
That's the name
anyone.
of the company. The name of my monk's paladin's father. And you disappointed me last week. He just said he had pneumonia. You know, it wasn't his
That
fault.
was 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Last week was you not waking up.
I set an alarm and everything. I slept right through it.
I didn't know it was pneumonia yet. I was just... My bad. You're like, how do you even get
Well, now-
pneumonia? I'm like, you just keep working. Like, that's what you do.
I hope your character's father is also disappointing to you.
That's actually a pretty good reason to name your father Rofrost. He disappointed me at every turn.
Disappointed me at every turn. Is that what you think of Rofus?
No.
I'm just sharp.
But yes.
I have a more excusable excuse.
More excusable excuse.
What?
Yeah, there's-
Pneumonia? It was everybody at work. They're like, oh. Like, yeah. Go fuck it. I was like, Mitch is a bitch. He's just complaining a bunch.
So you've been
Pneumonia.
doing the drinking while you're taking time off.
No, I
Just-
didn't have anything
just
to
say.
drink while the whole time, dude. It was a
uh,
fucking full week of me like suffering.
No. You know, I keep thinking of my father. You know, his my dad's actual name. Let
Your
him kind
real,
of.
your real life dad's name is Xeranex.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's crazy.
What's your last name, Robert?
I'll show you a picture once this decides
My
to
last
work
name?
again.
Man.
All right.
Oh, that's
So back up on the Bolt of Knifer.
What?
Back up on the Bolt of Knifer. They're unloading all this treasure. They're out there counting it. There's crewmen that are like pouring silver pieces and gold pieces over themselves. There's pretty much like mead being broken out and beer and party just kind of going out on deck.
Yes.
The sidereal, easy man.
Is that for real?
The sidereal and the bosun are busy keeping people like counting the treasures, setting it up in different places. They're lowering it down into their cargo hold. But a huge pretty much party breaks out on the boat that night, and your cut of the treasure is 800 gold pieces for all of you.
Whoa.
It's 800 gold pieces of treasure, but
Each.
no. It's only about like
Knew it.
It's two each. Fuck
two
it.
each.
Fuck you guys.
200 gold each.
Two.
Plus
Two.
your
Done.
rod. There's also a
That's
giggity.
Yeah, is that thing just still glowing out on the boat?
Just add
It has
200 gold
diminished.
Just add 200 gold pieces and let him finish what he's saying.
200, 240. You also get to cut too, right?
Yeah.
She fought the marrow too.
Let the thief tell you how much gold you got.
Yeah,
So
it
we all
never goes
got
wrong.
$200. This honest asshole. No Easter rock. I'm like, oh, we got $100 for doing that.
Yeah, it's
Same
not
as
Easter
all
rock.
the rest of it.
Yeah.
I can love Easter rock. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's great.
Too bad he's dead.
So dead.
He's very dead.
Actually,
He's been very dead for a while.
I have some news for you. He's a little bit undead.
All your characters seem to come back.
You were in a crypt fighting a lich possessed elf.
Dude,
So
for everybody that is not privy to what's happening right here, I like to play the same kind of character a lot of times, except for one time we played a 40k game. And I played a guardsman, which is like a powerless, normal human in an environment that's ridiculously in the future, magic-based, powers, ogres, orcs. It's crazy. That shit is crazy. I was a normal human, and my coworker was a normal human, but was my boss. So he had to tell me what to do. So we had to like fight for our lives. I was killed, obviously. Then I came back to life, and this motherfucker, and I can't tell where I'm pointing yet.
Yeah.
The GM. He made me roll attacks as a zombie against
I
my
did.
friends.
I
He's
did make
like,
him do
yeah,
that.
So you stand up, and I was like, I don't stand up. He's like, you're dead. You stand up. And I'm like, oh. And he's like,
He was fighting a plague walker.
Begin.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like,
Stood up as a
now
pox
roll
walker.
with advantage against your teammates because you're horrifying. And I was like, what? So I got advantage because I was their friend. I was grotesque. And I was back alive, and I was fighting them, and I got advantage. I got killed immediately.
Oh yeah,
Scott smashed my
Yeah,
skull.
he did.
He rolled like a
Scott
natural
smashed.
20. It was terrible.
Right.
The death was terrible. And I was like, oh, that was a shitty way to end this session.
It's just weird how your character was like more coherent as a zombie. He wasn't like.
Steve was a piece of shit. I love that guy.
Steve.
It was like Isarak. I'm like, what an asshole. I love that guy.
He was a good character. I was pretty sad he died.
All of my dead characters are way better than my current character, who's also awesome.
Yeah, you should get people make better characters as they play on and on. You seem to just kind of taper off.
Hey, fuck
It's
off.
weird. Oh,
The
sorry.
Xernex is badass.
He's pretty cool.
So,
All right. There's also there is a short bow that they give to you as people appear more of axes and crossbow people.
Here, you look like you'd probably use one of these stupid things.
because I have a short bow around myself. Can I discern? Do I have new spells?
You have new spells. It is
Oh, yeah,
if
you're
anyone's
level
if anyone's doing detect magic on things. I mean, it's kind of obvious that your thing is magical. Yes, the bow is magical. That's why it is still intact after being underwater.
I can
for so long.
I have detect evil. Is it an evil bow?
It is totally sentient evil.
How about a wizard? Can a wizard detect magic presence?
Do I need to detect magic?
No,
access is given? So can I tell what it is?
Yeah, so no, you need identify for that.
Oh,
Which,
damn it.
yeah.
But Ayasa has that, right?
Ayasa has it, and I believe you have it. Do you have identify?
No.
Okay.
I-
So
So I would
So
definitely
Ayasa has it.
bring it to
Okay.
Ayasa, like, please, can you identify this bow?
The bow is vicious. It is a +2 bow, so it gives +2 to
Whoa.
attacks and damage. But if you get a critical with it, it does +7 damage.
Get the fuck out of here. I roll criticals like
Wait, what? +7 with a crit? That's insane. Maybe get a
So,
sneak attack crit with that.
Despite what we're talking about right here is, we're online right now, but I don't know how to add that to my D&D.
I will.
Okay.
You can actually, if you search magic items,
It's okay, I felt it.
if you go into equipment and add
I'm
equipment,
not drinking tonight. But I'm glad you're doing it.
somewhere at the
for
top.
me.
Let's manage equipment.
Yeah. Add.
And items.
Yep.
Cool.
Look up vicious.
This is cool.
That's the name of the bad guy in Cowboy Bebop.
They do?
Sid vicious.
No, it's just vicious.
It'd be kind of cool if his name was Sid Vicious.
P-I-C-I-O-U-S.
It's not,
I think you did, Wes.
You did, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the program?
it's not finding it.
Really?
1 second. Oh well.
Are you? That's viscous.
Yeah, there's no S in vicious. V-I-C-I-O-U-S.
It's not been teaching English or anything.
I know.
Let's hope not.
D&D is fundamental. It really helps
Crossbow,
everyone.
dart,
Yeah, so find short bow.
load more.
It's alphabetical.
Load more. Vicious short bow.
There.
Proficient, yes. Attack, ranged, 80 points. Attack, piercing.
Yep.
It's pretty good he didn't get a viscous short bow. That'd probably be pretty gross.
Add.
It is lacking the +2 bonus, but I will go in and customize that.
Vicious
Later on.
short bow.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry.
All right.
I am
We're
devoting myself
learning how to use
gold
D&D Beyond
chains,
as we play, which is fun
So,
pearl necklaces.
for me.
of course you are. Ayasa, if you want to give her the rod, the scepter, she will take a look at it. If you want.
You can hit me with it. I want to see its power.
Fuck it, just use it. Who cares what?
Who cares what does?
No.
You want to know what yours does, but you're like,
That's how
just
our
screw
Dark-
him.
That's how Brawl ended up with that. Like,
Do you remember that? What,
the Dark Suns was Brawl ended up with that jacket of
the cloak of.
the cloak
of devouring.
Yeah.
He was like,
You put it on and eat
yeah,
it.
it was cursed. It was immediate. We're like,
Oh,
bro,
wow.
we had a
Mimic.
very
No, it was a
intelligently challenged
It was a cloak of climbing, but he natural one his Arcana check, so he thought it was a cloak that devours you.
Oh no!
All right, so she takes that. There's a big party all night. Everyone's celebrating, dancing, drinking up on the deck. And the next day, or kind of actually just in a couple hours, you put sails up again and start heading out.
Great.
Heading north. The next day, Ayasa comes to you and says,
It's like she went over the fucking
yeah.
desert.
She's like, so, I don't know.
Worst wizard ever.
I don't know what it does, but it is the Scepter of the Paragon.
What?
The Scepter?
The
Scepter
Paragon?
of the Paragon. Last time I heard about this, it was in possession of Lord Commander Stern of the Flaming Fists, and it was used to combat an undead ship armada that tried to take Baldur's Gate.
Flaming Fist.
And then that's when the Sidereal, who was just about to go to bed, was like, Scepter of the Paragon? No. And Darva, the Ailey Starshroud, a priest of Sylvanas in the Moonshays, had that. She defeated a lycanthrope horde.
She did. I was there.
So it makes sense that it would be in the sea over here if it was at the Moonshays and someone was traveling with it. But this is not a normal magical item. This is an artifact.
What? Is that like super magic item?
Yes. Very good. Here's a cookie.
I'm learning.
Ayasa gives you a cookie. I baked it
Does she
myself.
really?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Oh, thanks.
It's a very
You
sugary
choke
cookie.
on the cookie.
Yeah.
Because he thinks Ayasa is evil and is trying to kill him.
I kind of do. A little part of me kind of thinks
All
that.
because of that prank with the note.
Oh, I thought it way before that.
Oh yeah, he's already.
That
For
just
some
cemented
reason,
my
he thought
theory.
she was the plant of the dragon cult the entire time.
Well, she's so weird.
Yeah.
Learning magic and
Going off to a foreign land to learn.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like this guy either.
So
He doesn't trust me at all either.
I feel like we bonded though. You talk. She doesn't say much.
I make a lot of money off you
that makes
fighting
me nervous.
humans too, by the way.
oops.
Every time you punch a human in the face, I make like 4 coin.
Well, let's double overboard. We should gamble. We should gamble our treasure for fights and make more of this. That's what paladins do, right?
No.
Gamble, yeah.
That is not good. That is what their underhand
Oh,
gets them to do.
You
We
should
be
gamble.
gambling. We should be gambling with your money.
I don't know. I honestly don't like.
We're fucking rich.
Like with paladins now, is it pretty much just like just don't go against the tenets of your faith? Anything else? Like the classic rules out the window from like 2nd edition, 3rd edition, and all that.
You have a code to uphold
Yeah.
and remain in.
Are we wrecking his code by having him fight
I
barehanded
don't think.
humans?
I think my
No,
code's
that
all
is
about-
that's training.
So do
If
we-
he was gambling on it or liking it, but for him,
I'm
as long as it's
gambling
trained,
on
yeah,
it.
that's fine. You're the underhand.
I think in here there's a
Nothing's
bookie-
loading.
There's a bookie page in here.
You got a
There it
bookie
is.
pay. Oh, you do got a. I remember that.
Yeah.
We were trying to remember. We spent like 9 hours
Now
figuring
that
out a
bullshit
shit.
like whose shift is what.
Okay. So, onward to Fireshare you guys go.
Sorry. Yeah, the fire issue. Did anyone else on the board get any cool items? Like did the bear cloak guy? Did he get like
Well, we don't know.
shark cloak?
We don't know what others garnered.
Well, I know that's why I'm asking. Like, do they? Did they get some good treasures on themselves? Or?
There was a couple other magic items in there that they kept, but they thought that
Everybody seems placated. Everyone is happy with his return. Okay.
I'm just curious what they got. It's cool. That's okay. We can move. We can just go on and continue the quest.
inconsequential. I mean, fun, but inconsequential. They got a lantern, a true scene. They're gonna hang it on the front of the boat so they can go through fog.
Oh, that's sick. And a ring of inconsequence.
Found it underwater?
They found it in a chest underwater.
Or it found them. All right. Hey, good.
No, I'm just being
like
right
that.
there with you.
Silver all the way down.
Show the camera.
Oh, did you just show? Oh, missed it.
I'm just giving an example of like what the scepter looks like. It's with this long flanged head.
That's also why I said give the camera.
It doesn't go translate that well.
Ah. How far away is Fireshare from here? I say.
It is the turn of a phrase. You guys arrive at Fireshare.
Hey.
Oh.
So Fireshare,
It's hot.
the bay. No, it is not. In fact, it is frozen.
Oh.
So as you're heading up,
What a stupid
you
name
see
for
you see a cliff face. Like you're kind of going into almost a cove, and there's a cliff face, and you see docks, and you see that there's been ramps, like switchbacks, carved into the cliff face that go up, and then you see all this like little smoke tendrils coming up from the house fires and chimney chutes of Fireshare. So the bay is already freezing. So you see some ships that are at the port are completely locked in. They're just frozen in place for the winter. They're not going anywhere. And there's a couple neglected ships that apparently moved up and went as far as they could against the ice, and then just let the ice keep forming around them. But as it comes out into the bay, there's just the whole bay is freezing.
Thanks, Lubacha.
Lubaka!
Hey, Lubaka.
Thank you for hosting us, Lubaka. We
Also,
appreciate that.
We love feedback, Lubaka.
So,
That's what you're thinking. See what's
Talk
going
to
on.
us.
Talk to us.
So the bay is freezing. There's some ships that have got in there. There's also ships on the edge of the ice that are just essentially docked.
Are we freezing? Like, I don't think we got
No,
any,
we're
like...
far
No,
enough
you
away
guys
to
have
not-
you're wearing furs.
Okay.
Like, except for him. Like
I
you
can
guys are
see
all
that
winter
cold.
clothed out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our
gosh.
boss.
So
Asshole.
you guys
Asshole.
you bring up the boat to this ice, and they actually kind of like
Uh,
they move up and they break the ice so that the boat can kind of like slide in, but they put people on details to like they have their boating hooks and they have hatchets and ice picks or picks, and all their job is to walk the perimeter of the boat at the water line on the ice and make sure it doesn't freeze around the boat.
Can I
Keep
help?
pushing the boat out, breaking the
So
ice.
you're saying there's a couple of boats that are stuck.
They're-
They don't
yeah,
have that service.
Yeah, they either screwed up and now they're stuck here for the winter, or they intended to just be landlocked or ice locked for the winter.
And we're pulling in.
You're pulling in, and you're hundreds and hundreds of yards from the actual docks
So here's
because the bay.
Perfect. So I
That's
want
frozen.
to talk to Sauron and just be like, this is where we should make our intentions known to the captain and to the crew. Either we stay or we stay. Do we want to hit land here and move on, or do we want to stay here? Those are the two options this port provides.
And
is
there
winter.
is a land route up north. You can get to Ironmaster from Fireshare through a mountainous pass,
In other
but it's
words-
winter.
In other words, as soon as we pull up, we either tell everybody on land that we're leaving
Oh.
soon, and they break us apart constantly, or we leave right now, or we stay permanently. This is the end of the boat ride. You're gonna have to make that decision.
Also, they talked to you about this. because you guys are being followed. Or you don't know if they know exactly where you're going or how you're getting there.
Mhm.
But Lord Crane is on to you, and he's got spies everywhere and powerful magic. So you can only assume how much he knows about where you're headed. I mean, he doesn't have the map. He doesn't know where the place is, but he can assume where you'd go to get that information.
We either end the boat ride here, or we struggle the boat ride further.
So they also say there are no inns in Fireshare. This is a mining community. People are brought up here as miners. They stay seasonally, and then they leave to go back to their lands when their tenure is up. You would have to stay at a boarding house if you leave the boat.
Right.
So you can stay on the boat if you want. You can stay hidden. You can try to not even be known here.
So Fireshare's not as welcoming as it looked like it was going to be when we set out.
Now there are bars. Everyone make me history checks to see if you know anything about Fireshare.
Uh-oh. History.
Well,
Boo.
then
Boo.
Actually, I've studied 5 years. My third week of Dragonborn school.
God damn it.
11.
Lubaka!
What? You and I know the same amount.
So what is it? No one got anything?
7.
7.
With bonus.
Yeah,
Is
she
that-
got like 8.
Is that that's Matt Mercer, isn't it?
Yep, that's Matt Mercer. So yeah, you guys don't know much, and you can ask. I mean, you can talk to your crew, to Ronve and crew if you want to know more. They're like unloading crates and stuff and sliding across the ice and taking it to port. They're just like, you can stay on the boat. We're like, if you stay on the boat, we'll be gone in 2 days. Well, if you don't stay on the boat, we'll be gone in 2 days too. But like, we're leaving as soon as we can. We're gonna drop this stuff off. We're gonna get paid, and we're gonna continue because you had paid us to take you where we're going.
Yes.
But if you want to stay on the boat, that's free, up to you. If you want to go into town, stretch your legs, get some ground underneath you.
Yes.
That's up to you.
Absolutely.
But also, she understands the circumstances that you're being hunted. So.
Can you swim in this? It looks solid. I've never been in Arctic waters before. Can you swim in this?
You can swim underneath it. I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
You should make some inquiries about progress or stasis.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to get from staying here? What can we find from going on?
And you can also ask them to bring, since they're going up there and dealing with Fireshare, you can try to get them to get information for you about Fireshare, if there's anything weird going on up there, any weird travelers and stuff like that.
What do you think, boss? I say in common, new word I learned, boss.
I wanted to ask Xernex why he's suggesting this other thing. I don't know why we would not stay on the boat.
We wanted
Like
to
in
get off the
general, I
water.
mean, we can go into town for a minute if we want to, but when they're ready to leave and take us where we're supposed to go, I don't know why we wanted to stay on that path.
Yeah. The mountain pass north, especially now that winter is setting in, would be rough.
But
Again, I would be.
we're
probably
rough and
fine.
tough.
You are. You could get through it. It's not going to be a fun journey. And if someone's tracking you, especially if they have wings, that's even easier to catch you in a mountain pass, in the north, in the snow.
Yeah. But I mean, they could easily find us in the water too.
Yeah, you're just going to go faster. And you have a bunch of soldiers around you.
Yeah, but we've already been through a lot with these guys on this boat. They know that we got their back. We know that they got our back.
You don't think we're overstaying our welcome?
You paid them to take you to Iron Master.
Exactly. We literally we've given them money to get us to our destination. I don't know why we would change that at this point.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. Boss.
I mean, they're here to stop to drop off cargo or get whatever the hell they're doing. That's fine. They told us that ahead of time. They're like, "Hey, we got to stop here." Cool.
Can I go in the town though? I would quite like to
I
get off a boat.
don't have
for
anything against
a
going into town.
freaking minute.
Granted, obviously we'll be seen, and like if people have spies, like
Right. If Lord Crane has spies up here or is up here himself, you going into town is an instant giveaway.
It's true.
Part of me thinks, though, that our presence on the boat would be known anyway. I mean, they knew we left. They knew they didn't find us anywhere else. Sorry, they have not found us. We are clearly where we are meant to be found.
Now, if you stay hidden on the boat, they still don't know you're there. They'd have to send someone after you, after to look at the boat and search it. If you don't go up on the deck and you stay below in your cabins,
can you sneak in and just check it out and tell us what it's like? Not on the boat.
I can do all manner of sneaking. So let's
live vicariously through you.
Let's sneak into town and just gather some basic information about knowledge of boats that are coming in right now. Are they looking for something, or
you're just gonna head in and try to do some information gathering.
They would like to alter self.
Yup.
What are you doing that? You're just doing that like right in front of us?
He's been altered before by the gnome.
Oh yeah.
So it's not unheard of. Don't go all freaking out now.
Freaking out.
Can we consider that we've had a long rest at this point?
Yes,
Like, okay,
it's
cool,
been
perfect. So
everything. You have full hit points. You have
all right, fine.
all your powers. Because I mean, you've been dazed on the water.
good to know.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so hurt. Look, I just got a new spell slot and I have one left.
It's actually one of the abilities of Ultra Self is to give yourself aquatic abilities to be able to swim, breathe underwater, full movement speed.
Note to self. So,
Yeah.
But basically,
You can also do natural
I'm
weapons.
disguising myself as a northern human, someone that would be on the boat.
And Utgard, just like one of the people
Utgard.
here.
I want to find myself some sort of gambling hall and play for info and stuff like that. Joke around, make a couple bucks.
All right.
But find out what it is. Does anybody know what we're looking for? Not know what we're looking for. Are there people looking for people like us? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are there people looking for Dragonborns?
Yeah.
There are only 2 taverns and 2 restaurants in all of Fireshare. You've seen Fireshare. So you go up to the cliff. They get to the port. They load the stuff up to the docks because you're on the ice below it.
Yeah.
And then there's the switchback. It's a pretty wide pathway up, taking crates and all that. And when you get to the top, Fireshare is very low. You don't see many buildings above your sight line. Everything has been dug into the earth, almost like igloos, and then just domes of brick have been put on top of the buildings. So think of the Shire, think of igloos. To keep warm and to make things warmer and hold heat, they've dug down into the earth, not gone up. So there's all these domes around. Well, so I've sent you guys the map in that first picture. So 2 restaurants, 2 taverns. The restaurant is the Leaping Lacrota near the docks, or the Green Garden near the northernmost wall. So the opposite ends of the town. The 2 taverns are the Singing Manticore or the Drunken Dwarf.
The Drunken Dwarf.
All right.
What the fuck? These are not labeled on the map.
No, he made those names up.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Actually, they're on. They're just not labeled on the map. They put out a module for Fireshare. Specifically, it's that comic strip is based off of the module.
I can't
So-
read that, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just about the warm welcome of Fireshare. Tavern. So the Drunken Dwarf is down. It is on the wharf itself, so it's not up in the cliff face. It's not in the proper. It's not in Fireshare proper. It's down for sailors.
Gotcha.
Is that where you want to start?
Yes.
Okay.
I look like a grizzled human.
Uthgardi.
Uthgardi.
He looks like one of the crew.
Some sort of blue tattoo on the side of my face, and I'm covered in wolf pelts, and I look like I've been in the sun a little too long, despite the fact that there's no sun where I'm from.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of grizzled, cracked eyes.
Did you scale back? Did you ever put that back on?
He did.
You did. I know you got it back. I didn't know if you like.
She cleaned. Ilyasa cleaned the hell out of it.
Did.
Yeah. I didn't know if you actually got it like.
No, we spent some
reattached
time.
to
No,
it.
I put it back.
Throat. That's right. It's on your throat.
I was very remembering when I put it
His
back.
is his is the tier.
Whose one's throat? Oh, it's your throat. Okay.
Mine is face. It's right here. This
Yours
has your
is
butthole right
here,
Yeah,
isn't it?
throat,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Yas's is.
I will never
Who knows?
forget. It will never be forgotten. So, for those of you that are brand new, our specific clan of Dragonborn are merchants. Not merchants, but
They're the wealthiest. They're the merchants. There's also.
we have golden scales. We use our currency is made into scales, and we stamp individual achievements and accolades onto them, and then you place them. You take a scale off of your body and place a scale on yourself that's gold. Sometimes it's apparent, sometimes it's not. Mine is a teardrop, and I lost it in an encounter with a beholder, and he ate it to keep it from my charmed self.
You're welcome.
And then a couple sessions later, he had to shit it out. I had to work with our wizard to clean it, and then I placed it back on my face, and it will never feel the same.
I was working on an alternate.
That's fine.
So for the people left on the boat, are you staying below decks or in your cabins, or are you just doing your normal?
Definitely not on the deck. If we're going to be hiding, we
Yeah.
might as well
So
hide.
you're in your cabins or down below with
Yeah.
the other sailors. Okay.
So-
Most of the sailors, there's one work shift, obviously, that's unloading the cargo and making sure the ice doesn't lock you in. Then there's one shift that has to stay on the boat, and one shift is allowed to leave for recreation. So you have the perfect cover. Almost all of them are going to the Drunken Dwarf. So you and a bunch of other Uthgardi go in there. So go ahead and do up a persuasion or deception, whichever's higher, as you try to schmooze your way in and listen to the local gossip.
Ooh. What?
What'd you get?
That's a great.
I got an 18 plus 7, so it's 25.
Okay. The town,
I like that.
and you haven't been up to the town yet. Most of these people down here are sailors, and a lot of them you find are the sailors that just dry dock here, like just let their boats freeze in. They stay on their boat, and they hang out until the summer because they make all their money from the trade from the mines.
Yeah.
So they may as well not leave. So you're not getting a whole lot of information about the town itself. You actually hear about the Marrow, like some boats have been reporting being attacked by Marrow to the south, which your crew loudly boasts that they took care of that problem. So you do get a couple of the townies that are down here because they have to dealing with the wharf and they just want to get out of town. They want to be down here with the strange folk. That something has been stealing. Some group or something has been stealing livestock. So they have, like, the streets right now are kind of weird because none of the people that own animals, like even the workhorse animals, the mules, the oxen, horses, they're keeping them inside the walls and like in their houses sometimes. So it's kind of weird that like the streets are lined with sheep and people are complaining about the shit on the streets because some wranglers or something has taken animals.
Is it a displacer beast?
There's no bodies. These are being taken, which is why they think it's.
Like, is this? Are we back to?
We played a game with them.
Their livestock.
So that's why they think it's wranglers or thieves. because it's not an animal that's killing them and eating them right there. The things are just missing. Like they're just getting stolen.
Yeah.
So
How big can this town possibly be?
like 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
It's not very big. Like I said, this is a mining town.
But it
Yeah.
sounds
Oh, hold
very
on.
specific,
Sorry.
right?
I grossly.
4,000 or 5,000 people, right?
No, hold on. It's way more.
A million.
It apparently is way more. Okay, so their military, which is made up of pretty much of miners and militia, is 10,000 people. So there's a lot of people here.
So if you say like a quarter of the population, then we would say like
40,000
people.
people. Yeah.
That's a big difference.
But it is just a mining town. Like this town, all these people are workers that are
There's only
brought here.
2 inns and 2 taverns.
Yes.
Despite the fact.
And no, there's no inns. 2 restaurants, 2 taverns.
Oh, 2 restaurants.
So, because everyone up here gets bunked because they're working for the company that mining, and they don't really want travelers here. That disrupts the flow. So they don't have inns. You actually have to go to one of the merchant guild leaders and get a boarding house pass, and they watch you like a hawk.
So can I find out about land connections from here? Like, can we travel on foot from here?
Yes, that is easy enough. You can go. There is a path from Fireshear. So there's the Iron Trail and the Tin Trail. So the Tin Trail goes right to Tin Towns, which is up north.
T-I-N or
T-E-N, Tin Towns. Yeah,
okay.
It's actually a community of 10 towns very close together on an island. Not really an island. What are those? In between rivers, like land masses in between rivers.
Steps.
It's not an isthmus. It's technically a whatever, but like Mesopotamia was one of these, whatever it is. But 10 Towns is up there in the north. It's the only other community up there besides Ironmaster. So Tin Trail goes from Fireshear to 10 Towns, and Iron Trail comes off of Tin Trail and goes right to Ironmaster. But it is through mountain passes, and they are freezing over. Thank you. They say that even all of their, like, this is the time, the last merchant convoy was 2 weeks ago, and that's the last one for the season. That's the last one they think they could have safely gotten through the passes. You, as adventuring, you just on horses and on foot, can make it through the passes much easier than a caravan of carts, but it's still not going to be fun.
It's still so dangerous that everyone's given up for the season. Yeah.
At least, for things that make money. There's, like I said, individual travelers can give it a shot, but...
It's gonna be, man.
Well, I'm only the sea traveler, so I'm going to come back and tell them, like, hey, Skinny, that, like, road travel is tough, that most people have given up, that if we continue on the boat to the next station, that sounds the best route, but we'll kind of be on our own. Like, our boat has made the money it's going to make. They're not going to make anything else off the rest of the travel. The rest of the travel is what we bought them for.
That's true.
We might see not pushback, but a lack of care given to the next leg of the trip.
Do you not remember that you guys had like an old drunken night where you told them your entire story and they bled for you?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Do they continue to care about that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then
and you helped them. You helped them fight the Marrow. You saved the Sidereal, killed the chieftain, saved the Sidereal. You guys are bros.
So the Vikings, though, they probably do that every Tuesday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel weird. Like, we're Dragonborn. Despite being a sailor, I still feel that way.
The volume levels go up and down.
Our story was like
song.
the reason we got to even set up a meeting with them, give them the wine, and
well, then I'll change my story and say that having spent a day with the other sailors. There's nothing for us here. The travel will be more treacherous by land than it will be by sea, despite the fact that we're being followed and pursued. We need to stay with the Bolt of Knifer until we get to where we're going. If you have anything you want to do here, we should do it now and then move on.
Well, what is there to do there?
What do you need? Do you need something? Do you need a
I
weapon?
need to get off a boat. No,
We'll
we
get off
can't.
the boat for a day.
No, well, we'll be seen by our pursuits.
Is your armor sharp? Is your armor tense?
My armor is
ready
the
to
sharpest
go?
of the land, and you know it.
Do you have
So,
everything you need?
what's
Do
the
you-
plan? Are you guys staying to the boat for the 2 days, or you?
Yeah.
I'm suggesting to stay.
I don't see a reason to get off the boat and risk being seen if we don't know, like I said, there could be spies or...
My thing is, do you need anything off the boat? Because I can get it right now.
What's the food like there? Is it good food?
No, it's terrible. It's fucking cold out here.
Yeah.
It's like walrus blubber and shit.
Potatoes and nuts. Like, what else do you want?
I'd be amazed if they
Jesus
even
Christ,
have
we
that.
can make nut gravy.
There's much better food on this boat because you're eating with the captain every night.
Yeah. Royal Fries is just whining. He's not used to being on a boat this long.
He used to be. Well, you did spend a long time on the one in the inner sea, but
And that was terrible.
I just feel bad because, like, I'm the only person that's comfortable on a boat, and we spend a lot of time on boats. It's like,
It's
good for
every time
travel.
we're like, we're on a boat. I'm like, hey,
All right,
you guys
so-
cool with this? We're on
Yeah.
a boat for a
It's
long
like-
time.
last
God.
call is anyone getting off the boat besides someone that's
What's this
altered.
about missing animals and stuff? We have 2 days. Can you make us look like these ugly humans?
I cannot. It's hard enough for me to cast look like ugly human on myself.
There's people with mysteries.
There are. We can find those out.
Just read a book or something while we're talking about
You
shit.
can also
fucking
work
book.
with your rod
Yeah.
to see if you can figure out what to do
Yeah,
with
see
it.
if you can polish it, make it shiny.
Be more creative than fuck those guys.
I feel like Robert do his thing though, like, oh, what about this? We're not getting off the fucking boat.
I'm getting
Alright.
there.
So
We're staying on the boat. We're gonna sail away.
Lord.
But a quest!
side quest,
it has
not
been
your main quest. You
decided.
have a main quest.
People
You have
are
this
in
thing you
need.
need to forge into a weapon to kill a
Yeah,
god.
That's cool too, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's cool too. But I just want to go find these missing animals.
Yeah.
What about the animals?
Fuck.
Kill 15
Okay.
wolves. Oh, now we're gonna have to get off the boat because it just got blown up.
We'll find out.
The ship explodes.
The GM's mystery roll reveals.
So it's the next day. The crew, they've cycled through one whole crew, like getting everyone off the boat and coming back, which is really kind of like you figure what they were waiting for. They wanted to give everyone a relaxation time, a recreation
Shore
shift.
leave.
And then they're like, all right, we're ready to go. So they're breaking ice away and getting ready to push off. So I need you to make me a
Me?
you need to make me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save?
Roll that copper dice, buddy. Let's see
Yeah,
it.
Alright, what do we got here? I'm pretty sure I got a.
That's
We
unfortunate.
have proficiency in
Oh,
wisdom.
deal?
Yeah, he's a paladin.
He's
It's
pretty smart.
wisdom.
I am the wisest. What?
Wisdom
He's back
charisma
there.
or wisdom
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 charisma.
constitution? Yeah, wisdom charisma.
It's kind of funny that the Constitution's not there, but whatever.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
a
fighting
Ah!
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's a 21.
thing. Okay. All right, you
Do I
guys,
feel
nope, you guys push. You follow the orders. You stay below decks.
Nothing goes against plan.
And you guys push off and head north.
I probably failed, and I'm like,
Fucking
now
Mr.
I'm
GM
spying
bullshit.
on you.
I hate that Mr.
Oh, man.
No, he successfully saved, and there's no consequences. You guys leave Fireshare.
I don't hear any whispers in my mind.
We just leave Fireshare.
Yeah,
I regret that instantly.
just be
Yeah.
okay with it.
No, just
So
be-
to tell you, there were people there looking for you,
No,
and you
seriously.
did not get seen. So
I even
Good
left
on
the
you
boat.
guys.
Yeah, I even left the boat.
This is why I'm fucking in charge.
There you go. All right.
You're not doing a very good job because we are fucking things up on a regular
Just like
basis.
when we got through Castle Neverwinter, because I could talk to ghosts, and I was
And
like,
avoided
"Let's
all
not
combat.
fucking-"
Honestly, that talking to ghosts was pretty dope.
You really need to get your
That-
people
that
in
was-
line, my lord.
That talking to ghosts was dope. That,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
probably
good.
that was probably the hardest.
Is the party ready? Yeah,
All right.
right.
So you guys head north, and as you're going through,
Entrade. They're like, yeah.
you see you get to a place where like there's land to your right and there's land to your left, and then there's just floating ice all through this. They're
Like in the water.
like just in the water. Like no, it's not like massive icebergs or anything like that. Though you do see some of those coming off the land, but there's just ice flows through this whole place, and this is what they call the channel of frozen sails. There's a lot of boats that have like wrecked here, and parts of their mass and such are like stuck in the ice, and you can see them almost like grave markers through this place. They take the sails down. You guys are moving at a crawl. You've got people with massive boat hooks up front, pushing off icebergs and such, like 4-man teams, making sure you can navigate through these frozen channels. But the Bolt of Knifer, as I've said, is a wide bottom, heavy boat, and even when you do make contact, like they ignore some of the ice, and it just hits and breaks off of the hull of this boat.
Better than the Titanic.
Do you think that ice is salty?
No.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we can get into the chemistry that.
I've been on those boats so long.
Sorry.
I don't know chemistry.
I mean, it is
say-
in
no, I would
it's
say
the
that-
salt water. Well, it's in
Yeah,
salt water, but
yeah.
is it salt water that
No,
froze,
it's
or is it
Water,
fresh water?
outside.
No.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna take a migraine here.
Zirnax would say, no, it is not.
So
But he wouldn't be able to
What the fuck are we
explain
talking about?
why it's not.
it takes you about a day to get through. It takes you about a day to get through the channel of frozen sails. And you start coming around, and you start heading towards land, and you actually see the land kind of builds up into what would be a mountain, but then there's a canyon through it. It's like as you're heading towards shore, there's this massive canyon with a passage through it, and that's in the water, and the ice creeps up the side. And as you get closer, you see that the entirety of the ice and the sides of the canyon are all carved, and there's bridges and walkways and doorways all over them. This is Iron Master. It is an entire canyon kingdom carved into ice and stone, but you never see it because 2 dwarven ironclads smash their way through water, and you hear a booming voice telling you to turn back. None are allowed to dock in Iron Master.
Wait,
Wait, but we
dwarves are coming through
we
the
do
water?
see it.
And they're in ironclads. They're in boats that
Oh,
have metal plating on them.
I
This is
thought
the
you
first
said,
time you've ever seen them. You've
So-
only heard about them, but
So
yeah,
when we say that we hear them, are they?
there is a dwarf standing on the prow of one ship, and he's just yelling to you, but his
Projected.
voice is like
What are our guides doing at this point? What's the Hershey?
I'm the guy.
the Hersier, the
Fucking you.
Ronve,
Yes.
Bolt of Doctor.
The people that own the boat.
What about them?
Like, what are they doing at this?
Yeah.
response?
They're like, we've never been up this far, and
Oh.
you have something for passage, right?
Yeah, but I'm presuming that they're probably like listening. They're probably like,
Yeah, they're-
hey, like,
They're pulling up sails and
slow
like.
the fucking roll.
Right.
Like, we ain't trying to get.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, they're not here for a fight. They're here to drop you off.
Mm.
So
So I'm going to message the closest one.
the dwarf that's in
The closest
the one that
dwarf.
yelled.
We bring with us a piece of the god weapon Zungshe for forge in the dwarven forges. We have,
Okay, hold on.
while I talk.
Are they,
No,
did-
we have to go back.
did Brainbender said where?
No,
Oh, damn it.
you
No, you're right.
you have a sealed
Oh
scroll
yeah.
case
No, the
to
other
give
place.
to
It's
them.
too late.
He sent word to the other place.
That's right, but I forgot that. I'm
Yeah.
messaging
Oh.
these yelling dwarves.
Okay, so
They're
message
yelling
has a specific limitation.
120 feet, unfortunately.
No, it's not that. I mean, that is part of it.
Cell's just a little bit closer, but not enough to get destroyed.
Point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target hears
It
the
doesn't
message
have
and
here.
reply in a whisper
Uh,
only you can hear.
So it doesn't have the thing here, but it's only
Doesn't work on dwarves.
it's only one round. So you've got 6 seconds worth of message.
Okay.
I'll count.
Alright, I got the 6
I
seconds.
think.
Are you ready?
Starting now.
We have come a long way to bring a weapon to defeat Tiamat that must be forged in your...
Oh, there must be forts. That's actually a really
Yeah.
good place to cut off.
We care not about your plights or quests. No footsteps in Ironmaster that is not dwarven.
You turn into a dwarf.
And he yells that back. You didn't hear.
That's fine.
They didn't hear your message, but they knew. Like you
Well, then
see him
I
pointing.
repeat the yell. We carry with us a missive from the dwarf.
Are you messaging or are
He's
you?
yelling.
I'm yelling it.
Okay.
I'm out of message.
Yeah, he can't hear you. Your thaumaturgy allows you to do the same thing he does. That this dwarf.
Then do that.
that.
God damn it.
It's a dwarven priest that's talking to you, and he's
I'm
using
like,
thaumaturgy.
Nothing. It's just like, we can also. I'm like, you got a fucking megaphone with
I
you?
didn't know these little people
He
were
does.
so loud.
Yeah, 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute.
Fuck you. Then
Yep.
do it.
So, what do you say?
Tell them what we got. We bring a missive.
Alright, so I'll start with the missive.
I jump a little bit. And it just says,
I'll drop the names
all
of
of us do.
was it Greatbender and
Lockbeard.
it's Lockbeard's
Fuck it. It's Lockbeard now. It's Lockbeard.
Well, they won't know. Well,
canon.
that's
not
Lockbeard to
Rumblefang.
you guys, but he won't know Lockbeard.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Rumblefang.
hundreds of
Rumblefang.
years ago.
But they would know that name.
They may
Lockbeard.
if they have
Well,
They might know who Lockbeard is, but say Rumble thing.
Rumble thing.
so I would
Cyranex gave
say we have
Rumblefang
this
one.
missive from them, right?
Greybender and
Greybender and
Irdod
Rumblefang,
Rumblefang.
about forging a weapon to fucking save our people.
Hold fast. Prepare to be boarded. The 2 ironclads just crash their way through the ice, like push through and come up scarily close on either side of you.
I take to the prow of my boat.
How are they floating in these things?
Right?
They're just sailors.
Like to anything else, like anyone else, like they put metal on their boats. Why aren't they sinking?
I might even do that.
Right? Like what?
Like I think someone on the prow, like
And they've got
More magic.
they've even got like
dwarf magic.
portals specifically designed for their ballistas to shoot out of. They have catapults on the deck with tar pitch, flaming tar pitch canisters behind
I'm
them.
instantly learning how much
Yep.
about boats right now.
And like
Ooh.
their ship isn't open like this; it's like this, so it has shielding around it, and so like the catapults can fire out, but you can't shoot bolts in and stuff.
How do we don't have boats like these?
Because learning how to make a flower took a lot longer than learning how to make a cup. So you have like a thing that floats like on top of the water, easy, but covering the edges and making something that
Still has
sinks
buoyancy.
halfway, making armor on top. Oh, it's years later.
So they come up on either
Maniacal.
side,
History's beautiful.
even kind of like
Motherfucker.
bump
I don't know
in.
where he got that from, but it is.
Oh yeah,
It's true, and it's
so true.
realistic. It's wonderful.
The first ironclads. Oh my god, and the steamboats.
They sank. They put them in the water on purpose so they would go about
Way too
that
deep.
deep. And now you've got these like 2 layers on top, and these 2 layers on top are just steel. They're just wonderfully armored boats, but what they really are is submarines, because you've got 3 layers below that's just scraping the bottom of Mississippi with this wonderfully armored edges, and it just Man, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, you throw stuff at it, you throw fire at it, you shoot it, you cannon at it. Cannonade did nothing. Ding, 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 ding. It just kept floating along, and it served its purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what? And like, that's basically a submarine. It was a mobile. Sorry, it was a submarine that you attacked from the top of.
Yeah.
So the real boat was about that big. It looked like a lotus underneath the water. And on top was a little boat.
Huh.
And it just, for some reason, wouldn't sink.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we hit it? Why can't we do anything to it yet? So.
They bounce up on the sides of you, pin you in, and planks come down, like from the armor. Like the armor shelling on the top actually is like planks over, and dwarven warriors come out. The crew is like, the crew's backed up, and they're like looking around.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
They're like, "This is your deal. Like, we don't want to get our boat smashed by these dwarves."
Immediately present our Lord.
Push them forward.
No, dragon.
Push it forward.
Yeah, you come.
What do you mean protecting me, asshole?
No,
We're not talking about that.
We're all there. I make a point of presenting us. Like this is it. Like this, this is our boat now. This is our boat.
The two ramps come down on either side, and like a contingent of dwarves, 5 dwarves come up on each side. They're armored lightly, like chainmail vest type things. They have crossbows, except for one guy in the front who has a shield. And like he comes forward, like just kind of sets it on the deck, and these 4 other dwarves like crouch down behind them with crossbows, and they set boarding points.
Do you see that light armor is in case they fall into the water?
Oh.
And then the one that was yelling at you steps up, and he is in white and blue and silver robes.
Then
he's got a big hammer in his hand. Yep.
I do this.
He's got a holy symbol hanging at his neck, which is a hammer upside down, like hanging there. And he strides forward. The group at his boarding point opens up, and he strides through. He looks over. Well, he's seeing you. You're the ones presented there. You're the one that yelled at him. So he looks at you, but he does a complete scan of the ship. Sees the rest of the crew. They're all setting up to protect their folk and ready for battle and all that. So you want to say something to him, or you want to let him say something first?
How close is he?
He's.
Like,
So
he
if
doesn't
you're,
come right up to me.
he doesn't come right up to you. You guys are at the prow. The rest of the crew's at the aft castle. So he's coming off from this. He's much closer to you than he is to anyone else. And he looked at you specifically first, and then just scanned the rest, and then looks back at you. Because you're the one that yelled.
No, these guys don't like. I'll let him talk first, though.
I would never. Are you kidding? This is diplomatic relations.
I think he means the dwarf.
He means the dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
I am Curate Oakhart, priest of Moradin, Baymaster of Ironmaster. You are not allowed in these waters. If you have something for me, present it now.
Slowly, I'm presuming I have the missive.
It's in your bag.
Slowly pull it out, not grabbing a weapon. I'm still not even in my fucking mail.
Yeah, you're not in your armor.
So I'll take this option this time, to announce. You stand in the presence of Lord Savroth, patron of Clan Goldath, from the
From Tyrmanther.
Tyrmanther's patron. Sorry, from the land of Tyrmanther. He comes here.
Merchant Lord, you can even say.
Merchant Lord comes here on behalf of his people and his religion, his faith. We seek use of the forge to create the god weapon Zunshe.
Remember, the forge isn't an Iron Master.
I know that.
Okay.
But we're going to go through them, right?
You're wanting to get a forge master from them to go with you on your journey to find the other place.
We seek a forge master to create a weapon from the platimantium that we currently possess, Show some respect.
Go. I will
Okay.
do my best to look really tough.
It's terrible. Yeah, no, it's terrible. They said it was too late. I regret it immediately. The GM's face is like,
Make it
no.
an intimidation.
Oh, intimidation.
That's an intimidating
No,
thing
I get
you
it,
said.
I get that. I get that.
Let's see how impressed he is.
Natural
You
He is-
listen. You
He is
listen.
now. He is
Nice.
he is of course not cowed or scared by your thing, but he's impressed that you stood up and said that to him in this situation. Like that's what a dwarf would say. If you were fighting a single lone dwarf, that's something a dwarf would say. So he's like, okay, this guy's got
Bring
cojones.
it on, man. I'm like, hey, this guy's got some shit to
So
do.
he just holds his hammer out and like out of nowhere, you didn't even see this guy come in, but like an acolyte, younger priest buddy, just like takes the hammer and is like now his weapon bitch behind him, walking behind him, and he strides forward and holds out his hand for the missive, grabs it, looks it over. He grabs his holy symbol and casts a spell, and his holy symbol glows, and then the symbol sealing the message glows.
Cool.
Chink.
Cool.
Opens it up, hands the case back to his acolyte, takes it, and starts reading. He reads for a good couple minutes. I mean, it's a pretty long missive. It's got a lot going for it. I mean,
What's his fucking name again?
he is Curate Oakhart.
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 Joy, I'm not writing any of that down. I'm just surprised that I fucking
How do you
did
spell
it.
curate?
Curate.
Oh, okay, like curator.
Yep.
Companies has other names and they're not spelled.
Right.
Yeah,
I love messing up spelling a name.
Curate's a verb, not a person.
Well, it's a person
It's
in
an
this
adjective,
world.
actually. English teacher.
Curate is an adjective?
Yeah.
How does it describe?
It
what's
describes his position.
In this, it is.
Curator is an adjective.
Yeah, in this, curate is a position because but it's not wrong. But what he's talking about is you curate a collection.
Oh, yeah. But
So,
in this context,
in this context, it's a title.
You should feel theirs.
No. Anyway,
Oh, yeah?
he like kind of looks at you, looks at him,
I'm down with questioning unless it's English.
and then rolls it back up, puts it back in the thing, reseals it, and says, "The ship must turn around, but you may board one of our ships for passage through Iron Master."
No shit.
Fair enough.
Make haste. We do not like to dally. And he turns back, grabs his hammer. The acolyte runs before him. The group separates, and he goes back onto his vessel, before he crosses over, he says, "Come to this vessel when you have retrieved your possessions."
Right to it, huh?
My lord,
And then-
this is uncommon to me. We have not been invited. We have been ordered upon. I will have no power on this boat.
I believe,
No sway, no way.
I believe everything is on the up and up. They are going to take us where we are trying to go. Let's grab our things, say our farewells to this crew that has done what we paid them for,
Where's
and
Ron?
be on our
Is she
way.
here with us?
She's at the Aft Castle with
I
her
want to
crew.
exchange emails with the Sidereal if that's possible. No, but I'm particularly me. I need to say goodbye.
So you guys go and you get your stuff, and you go up into the dining hall where they have hastily prepared one kind of like quick little meal to say farewell, because they want to have a drink, they want to have some food as you leave, and all the usual suspects are there to say their goodbyes.
Yeah, let's make it jovial. Let's drink a bit, real quick. Not get.
You've been fighting your face off on that boat.
It was good too.
I would tell me, I knew this guy the whole time, like, you fucking cheater.
Yeah.
They do go around
Great
recount
plot, got a good
stories, the fight with the marrow and the matches you had, and when the bosun made you sweep the entire deck.
Avoiding that storm, that was crazy.
I've never seen you work that
Yeah,
much before.
Fuck off.
Oh.
Damn it, this guy.
I mean, like labor,
You
you know.
can't wait to say that you're weak.
I mean, labor, you know. It's beneath you, I think. Just me.
So they.
Finish our dealing.
Yep, you finish your dealing with the ships. You say goodbye. If there's anything specific you want to say or ask of any of these people, say it now.
I do want.
Where are they sailing next?
Well, the sidereal.
As I say, I want to know if the sidereal has anything written at all that she can share with me. Any kind of map, any kind of.
The sidereal and the druid. Well, the druid cured it, but it's a. They took a piece of the Marrow Lord's hide, essentially the fish skin, the fish scales. They cured it, and they wrote down, or basically she's inscribed in it, burned into it, their ports of call and people you can contact, basically messages you can leave with people at certain ports, and it's like nice folded up. And when it's folded up, it looks like a shiny green, like fish scale, like envelope.
Should we give them some kind of likewise information of Chimantis ports and stuff?
Yo,
Because not every port there is. We don't.
no. Making trade. Absolutely.
I don't know if there's
I would share.
Oh, that is one thing you did miss in Fireshare is
trading.
there's a
We didn't do
Dragonborn.
that, yeah.
There's a Dragonborn that's from Timanther that runs one of the trading guilds.
We fucked that up. That's fine. That's fine. We fucked that up. That's fine. We fucked
No,
that
it's fine. It's
Why would
totally
you
fine.
tell us that?
Because we're supposed to look around. We fucked it up. We were there
That's
very
fine.
briefly. We got the
Okay
fuck
with my
out.
decision.
Yeah,
I
However,
did see that.
you're much better
Oh,
off.
did you see
You're
him?
so much better off.
So,
I was probably a
anyway,
spy.
so
Probably
if
a
this,
trader
if
exile.
the Sidereal will give
That's
me
a fucking guy.
that little
Yep.
wallet with the stuff, we will share trading information for Timothy.
Yeah, I mean, because you do have.
Yeah, good
By
job.
the way,
You do have trade
I'm doing my
things.
job all over the
You're on fire today.
Inspirations all around for the guys, you guys getting through all of this tonight. I haven't been hitting the specifics, but you guys have been killing it. With I don't want to be on the boat anymore, and we're going to stay on the boat. And
I'll leave the boat. We should go back to the boat.
yeah. So, yeah, good on y'all. But yeah, you say goodbyes. They're fun, farewells. The Hersier, clasps arms and says you're always welcome on board or to fight at his side.
Yeah, likewise. Still start a war sometime.
Ronve says she'll miss her talks of philosophy and politics with you. But now that they know your trade points, they also say Neverwinter is a pretty standard port of call, and you guys have a pretty strong relationship with Lord Neverember. So
I think we set up some trade stuff there too.
you did.
Yeah.
So yeah, if none of those work, or if nothing else, you can always meet them back in Neverwinter. I mean, they stop there at least twice a year.
Do you think Zyronax has been fraternizing with the human sailors?
Probably.
Disgusting.
You guys never. I don't think
He
you guys
literally
ever
went
went
away with human sailors before.
Yeah.
That's why he's here,
He was gone for years.
because he has this knowledge and.
Can you imagine what their eggs would look like? I'm just
Do I have
stalling.
silence?
Silence.
No, but Alyasa might.
Huh.
I have blindness and deafness.
Oh, that's
Do we
a-
lay eggs? Do we go over that?
You're
What?
blind and deaf for a while.
You do lay eggs.
We do
yes.
lay eggs. Yeah, imagine what.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Just kidding.
Easy peace. What have I done to offend you, my lord?
No, I just want to.
Very, very interesting.
What?
I mean, real world, like this goodbye would be very drawn out, but I'm ready to
Yeah.
forward this new ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys leave the Boltif Knifer and get onto the Ironclad.
There's one in there for me. Can you grab me?
All right.
We're boarding the ironclad.
You're boarding the ironclad.
He's made a sailor decision without me. That's
Well, I think
very
you
good.
deserve a break.
Very good. You guys made a proper decision.
You guys you're boarded the ironclad. They keep you with escort on deck the entire time. It's not very long. It's like 20 minutes just to turn the ironclad around and go to the docks of Ironmaster. And you're looking up, and this is impressive. Like, this is a valley. The outside, the canyon essentially that comes out of the water. On the outside, and it's half ice. There's half ice on the bottom, stone coming out the top, and it's completely carved with dwarven statues and markings, and you see bridges and balconies and doors and windows. It's this impressive thing. The docks are massive, and you see a fleet. It's like 5 of these ironclads sitting in port.
These tiny smooth skins just build this gigantic shit.
I'm just mad that we're not sticking around. We're just gonna sail past.
Yeah.
Yeah. They drop you off on the port on the dock. They come out, and Oakart comes with you, and there's already a contingent of people there. There's this dwarf in a gray cloak, pretty heavy woolen cloak.
I cannot stay a day.
So they make it quite clear that
Let's go, buddies.
Yeah. They make it quite clear that no dwarven feet have ever been inside of Ironmaster.
No non-dwarven.
Sorry, yeah, no non-dwarven feet. Only dwarven
We don't
feet.
know what goes on in
Right.
this
We
city.
don't. We have no idea. It's crazy in there.
A long time ago, I have no idea.
No non-dwarven feet.
Only humans are allowed in the dwarven.
And they're not going to break that, even for someone that brings back Eardod Rumblethane. So you are given over to a ranger named Dalistan Deepview.
Deepview?
Yeah, Dalistan Deepview.
Dalistan Deepview. That does not sound like a dwarf name.
He is kind of scrawny for a dwarf. He's got a crossbow that has some kind of box mechanism on top.
Like a choconu?
Like a choconu. And he's got some people with him, and they escort you right the fuck away. Like, up around the valley, down through this kind of basin. And as you're crossing into the basin, you actually see stone signs. You speak Dwarven? Someone here speaks Dwarven.
I don't.
It is not me.
It can't be me.
No.
I don't know why. I think. What, doesn't Ayasa? She's studying people.
I'm pretty sure it was not.
I speak Elvish.
Okay. So no one speaks Dwarven. All right.
Yeah, but they probably don't speak Draconic.
You're probably
Most likely.
right. We're probably the first Dragonborn they've ever fucking seen.
Yasa speaks
We rode a
common
boat
Draconic.
for like a month to get here. Like, there's
There's
like,
stone tablets, like these stone plinths that have all this writing in Dwarvish, and then after the Dwarvish writing, actually, I forgot to even say this, in common, it's a warning of, if you're not a dwarf, don't come in here, you'll be killed.
they're bringing this in.
They're bringing you in because you're already on this side of the basin, and they need to get you to the other side. So they like surround you up, and they actually have to Dalistan has to call out several times to guard groups, to ranger groups that are out here, that you're being escorted out, and you get a lot of disdaining looks.
So the waterway isn't even protected exteriorly, like the canyon is protected as we go through it.
You're not in a boat anymore.
Oh,
You're
okay.
walking. Yeah, you went up the side, like pretty much you went down the docks, up the side. You're now on top of the mountains, or so you're top, like the valley is over here. Over here. You're over here, walking through the basin that's above it, or next to it. And they walk you right the hell out. So when you get to the other side of the basin, where you see those stone plinths again around the trail, you walk up and out to this just plain of ice and hills and snow. He points and says, "You'll find the town of Bryn Shander that way."
Bryn Shander?
Bryn Shander. capital of 10 towns.
And who mans Brinchander?
Men, we'll send a contingent of dwarves with a reply to your missive. Wait there.
Are they
This is Dallaston.
Yep.
saying this.
are non-dwarves allowed in Bryn stand-up?
I hope so. It's a town of men.
Did it? The old men.
It's
the old
10 towns is Icewind Dale. It's the human settlements of the north.
If I may ask, Dallaston, why? So weird.
Why the xenophobia?
Why so weird about your city
Iron Master. He goes into a spiel of, dwarven hands. Dwarven blood was spilled here, then dwarven hands made it. Dwarven feet tread here, dwarven children born. It's theirs and no one else's. The moment anything else, and the moment men, the moment men, elves, or lizards even touch anything, they worm their way in somehow, and they'll have none of that here.
Your ships are incredible. I have to ask because no one's going to believe me. How are those things floating?
He turns around and walks away.
What? I'm so charismatic.
I'm taking my grade on that one. I'm trying to
He's a ranger. He has no idea how the ship's fucking work.
No one's
How did the
believe
boats float? Like, what?
Is
Air?
it magic? Is it?
They turn around and disappear back into the fog of the basin of Ironmaster.
Do you think they're always in such a hurry because their legs are so short?
I can only say that this is as far as I ever thought I would bring this.
There isn't much else to go,
Yeah.
Iyasa says.
This
is the north. There is nothing
the first time
more.
that I say that
Why would anyone live out here?
I am no longer your guide at this point. We go together as
We're
equals.
lost.
Yeah, we go together as equals. What?
So how'd you like it? Being
What? Being the guy was great. The Easter egg was fantastic. This was like, holy crap. I brought us so far north that people have never seen a Dragonborn, and the dwarves kicked us out of a boat.
That's a pretty cool story.
And then dragged us 3 or 4 days out and
They really did not
go that way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I have nothing left to add to the conversation, to be honest. I've never seen anything like this.
You think they send their exiles out this way to banish this?
Perhaps.
This is
But
a lot of big open.
I assume if the exiles came this way that there would be more settlement nearby.
You said 10 towns, right? Maybe we'll come across one.
The exile wouldn't give up. They don't want to leave. They've been expelled. Would be right here, right now.
You said it was that way.
Yeah, there's a trail ahead of you.
Oh, thank God.
I'm assuming you've gotten your horses out and are moving as you're having these conversations.
But I'm saying, like, if it
Lord Samuel's looking for a
was
place to
if
hear
it
it
was
is.
exile, it would be everywhere, immediate and heavy.
Well,
This
at least we
feels
won't be
more
bitten
like-
by sharks out here.
This is correct.
At least I don't think.
Unfortunately, with all the day's travel, boat to port to walking through the basin and all that stuff,
This is all camp time.
you head out for a while, then you have to camp, and it's horrible. I mean,
Yeah,
you also
it
make
looked
some
like.
magic fire, and you guys all huddle up, and this is the coldest you've ever been, and he seems to be fine. He doesn't give a shit.
Can I lighten the mood with like a story or a shake?
Yeah, sure.
Performance?
I'm
Performance.
so sick of stories from the boat ride.
Fuck you. There's other.
God, the shanties.
There's other stories.
What happened after Robert's?
Except there are not.
They
There
just
are
turned
only
around and
both
walked
stories.
away, and you guys have been heading towards Bryn Shander,
And
We'll never
and he's
know.
been asking weird questions.
with my bonus. So yeah, it's only both.
Yeah, you
shanties.
are.
Shanty.
What's funny about that is I think the only times you've ever tried performance, like for real, is when you're trying to entertain yourselves,
Yeah.
and you're terrible at it.
So bad.
Like, so
really
he,
not do that with other people.
Or like when I try to.
but so Iyasa actually, like, when you sit down to camp, I forgot about this. Iyasa sits down for 10 minutes and raises Liamon's tiny hut
Ah,
So a little
cool.
hut just appears out of the
nice.
ground,
What the shit?
right? And you guys walk in, and there's bunks, and then there's a stove,
Yeah, it's super
and she pulls out her unseen servant, or summons her unseen servant, who helps prepare food and get you guys unarmored and all that stuff. Like,
help her.
yeah.
I want to ask you, how long have you been able to do this? This is amazing.
Quite a while.
Quite a while,
unfortunately.
like, yeah.
We've just been on a boat for a long time.
I wouldn't think to ask that, but I am very grateful for it. Is it? So
I'm more like dismissive. Like as soon as it happens, I'm like, God damn it! You should just tell like 4 hours ago, whatever.
We just spent all that time putting
A
up those
bunk.
tents in the wind. She just summons Baba Yaga here. So
doesn't walk though. That'd be awesome if it could. If
that'd
you
be
could,
amazing.
like-
Can you make it good legs?
maybe at higher level.
Or what?
Think about that.
Um,
right?
Yeah. I'm
So,
like poking and prodding. Is it real? Is it an illusion? What is this?
Very real.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
It's a
go sleep. Yelling at you, shut up.
It's amazing.
Accept it.
So the next day's
full of
travel will bring you to Bryn Shander. Bryn Shander is a very large human settlement with a wooden palisade wall. You cross a river before you get there, and the place smells like burning wood and fish. But it is a very very large town. It is like, but it's huddled masses. Like
Burning wood.
you've been in,
Burning wood and cooking fish, or burning wood and like rotting fish.
not rotten, but just not like, it's so cold up here. The fish are preserved, but it's fish. This is the hub for 9 other fishing villages that make up Icewind Dale.
Cool.
And it all pretty much comes here before it gets shipped off somewhere else.
There would be farms out here. It's like just frozen hellways.
It's- There probably is, but they're farming, pretty hardy vegetables and things that grow in frozen ground, and they're not doing it now. It's winter, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just this big round huddle of wooden and stone huts and buildings.
Cool. Interesting choice. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's it. So I'm guessing you guys want to know the list of inns.
I mean, that's usually what we do.
That's normally what you do. Okay, so
We get into the town just fine. Like,
Yeah,
no
they-
one's like
There's
batting
no
an eye
resistance
or
at
th-
like,
there's guards.
freaking out like, oh, what the
There's
fuck is
guards,
this?
and they.
Do we look aggressive? I
I mean, you're all Dragonborn. You're in a place now that Dragonborn are rare. So that is one thing to consider.
Also,
That's what
I would
I'm saying.
say
Like,
at
you
this
guys
point,
can,
though,
like,
So his point
you
is
can
he's
hood
valid.
up
No,
and-
we don't want
yeah.
to deceive. I want to deceive, but I don't want these.
Like,
guys
well,
to
it's up to
deceive.
them. Like, do you want to like?
I'm fine being a shining, glorious looking.
I
do you wanna
can
do?
I can sneak us in. I can walk in looking like a human. Be like, hey, there's these
I'm
dragons.
gonna say at
following
this
me.
point, I've definitely put on all my armor and stuff. We're no
Yeah.
longer.
No, yeah,
at
you
sea,
guys are fully
so
you're fully geared up for adventure.
fucking-
Fuck it, we're
Yep.
we're
Whatever.
Dragonborn. We're walking into town looking like us.
Yep.
Let's do it.
The
I don't have
guards
anything
are
to hide.
like
I'm
the
not
guards are
trying
like
to fight.
poking through
point.
carts, like
Yeah,
when the
but
merchants
fucking
that are around you or the fishermen or whatever, they're poking through and looking for other things. But when you guys ride up on your onyx
I was gonna
steeds,
say, are we riding?
Yeah.
Can we ride it?
right?
Yeah.
You're riding up on your onyx steeds and your armor and all that. Like, you're obviously adventurers and something. They kind of look you over. They look from like. You can't really tell what they're doing, but they're probably looking for symbols to see if they can figure out where you're from, or if you represent a mercenary company or
I got
a
my,
nation or
I
whatever.
got my back
Oh, you have your
banner
back
with the-
banner, you
with the
do.
Timantha, yeah.
Oh, that's not
You have a
the right
Tyrannosaur
one.
banner?
He does. He
Yeah.
has a back banner for
I
the
forget
Tyrant
about
there.
that.
Yeah, it looks badass.
It does look. What does the Tyranther banner look like?
I
I've
don't
tried
know.
different stabs at it where it's simple. I don't know what an alphabet would look like.
You should.
Draconic?
But
Sorry,
Draconic,
I don't
yeah.
care if you're creative or not. You should make a Tyranther banner. By the
Okay.
way, you should do that.
Well, Tyrmanthur is the nation. Goldath is your clan.
Goldath.
True, but
You
we should
have
do both, but
the Goldath
Tyranther-
and probably the Tyrmanther symbols.
Yeah.
Tyranther though, like
What did we decide the gold apple was like a balance of scales or something like that?
Is it a scales
decide.
with scales on it?
because we used to say, yeah, it was basically
Long time
monetary
ago.
for sure. Yeah, it's monetary for sure. But you're fucking Savroth Golgath. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
I do have a lot of free time on my hands.
I like the idea of a golden moon
Don't
over
do anything
water.
anymore.
Sort of like
You don't have internet. What the hell are you doing?
Alright. I'm watching Workaholics on.
Huh.
Also, if you don't like the way you draw, just give me a concept. I'll draw it for you.
That's most
This is
likely
by
what
no way
happened because
official
This
that
guy
I
can
know
draw, too.
of.
Both of us can draw.
But we wouldn't have a dragon on our
No,
flag unless
that's
it's
not
like
us.
about our
I don't know.
escape from.
That's
Right.
from fucking.
But this is Kingdom
Game
of
Thrones.
Tyrmanther, is it?
Oh, really? That's Jim Mathers?
It's very similar.
But
to
this
Game
is
Thrones.
someone put this up on Obsidian Portal, so this could be anything. Like
Yeah.
it's just when they entered that this is their symbol for Tyrmanther. But yeah.
Any ideas, Wes?
All right. So
Yes.
you guys are just coming in. They do ask, as a quick summary, like, where do you hail? Who do you represent?
Dude, that thing again, that was amazing.
I can't.
You want me to do that?
I want you to represent us. You're the fucking boss, buddy. God damn it.
Well, hey, most
Oh, you
of
mean
the
to
time,
announce us?
most time you two want to fucking say whatever, and I'm just like, cool.
We're.
They both look at you at this point, though.
We're
Yeah,
super.
sure.
We're super far. Like we're.
So
we're
they say,
way
where,
out here.
like, where do you hit?
Where do you hail? Who do you represent? You can answer both or either question.
We are members of Clan Goldath from Tyrmanther, a Dragonborn clan.
On a holy cross!
They say,
Didn't ask that.
respect the rules, respect those around you, be along your way.
What are the rules? They didn't let us in the other town.
Do
That was
gamble.
Hmm?
I think he's like,
Do-
what are the rules? I'm like, do you gamble?
Not a problem, sir.
we fuck it all
We're
up
not
for
here
him.
to cause trouble.
Respect the rules.
All right.
What are the rules?
He's already
You guys
kind of
gamble?
moved on and
God
spoken
damn
through
it,
stuff.
Just fucking let's
All right.
go through this place.
So when you do the normal information gathering of where to stay, where to do stuff like that, so there's a lot of inns, taverns, places to stay here. Bryn Shander, Brynshander.
Never
This is
do
the
this
capital.
that way.
It is the
Of 10 towns.
capital of 10 towns and Icewind Dale. Like this is the most prominent
Oh.
settlement in Icewind Dale. All of Icewind Dale. Pretty much 10 towns is the only real human settlements that are permanent. Like
This place might be. This must be a pretty bustling place then.
It is.
For like being.
it's very
Awful
frontiersy.
place,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very frontiersy feeling, but it's huge. It is pretty massive. So that's why there's this long list.
Pre-Revolutionary War, Oklahoma.
So here's your choices of
There's
ends.
nothing
You ready?
like-
yeah.
Let's hear it.
Bloodrills Snug Haven.
Blood reel?
Bloodrills Snug Haven.
Okay.
Failfaries Inn.
Failfaries?
Failfaries Inn.
Damn.
So a lot of these are like people. Like
Failfaries Tavern?
Failfaries Inn.
Yeah.
Gelden Stag's Rest.
Right, faster.
The Hooked Knucklehead.
Yep, there
That's a
I
good
was
one.
like, that's already sounds like a winner right there.
It sounds pretty fun until you realize it's a fish. Kelvin's Comfort.
Kelvin's Comfort?
Northlook.
I just want to look at the name so I can see.
The Golden Basket. The Wolf and Rust Monster.
Nice.
Rust monster.
That sounds
Yeah.
like an adventure.
Why that sounds fun.
The Rose and Rope.
Oh, that's a lot.
Don't read anything past their
That's
names.
fine.
I like Falfers and
I like Wolf and Rust Monster.
perhaps this time we should split. There are so many options.
Split. You
I
guys are
would
staying in a hotel. Why would you
I don't
split
wanna-
up? It's where you're going to stay.
Party.
Ayasa, you should go to Northlook.
No.
Savroth, you should go to Bladril's Song Haven.
Bloodrill
Snughaven.
Snughaven.
Bloodrill Snughaven.
Bladril Snughaven.
Are you making fun of my handwriting?
No.
What?
You sh-
Which one was that?
You're,
Oh, that's the
Blood
first
First
Rolls.
time I
one.
misread your handwriting, you're making
There's
fun
no
of
reason to
me.
split the party to go to inns. pick it in.
I mean, we might as well just go bar hopping.
North
That's what you
North
do.
look seems the best.
Does it?
What? Well, there's a place called the Golden Basket.
You want to...
The Golden Basket sounds like it's calling our name almost legit.
That is 2 of 4. We
It's a
should
little
go
basket for gold.
Ayasa, what do you think of Golden Basket?
No.
Gold Dad.
Perhaps
I
we
am
should
gold.
check the Golden Basket.
Yeah.
Let's go to
Put
the
you in
Golden
the
Basket.
basket.
Go to the Golden Basket.
Basket. Golden Basket.
All right.
Golden Basket.
So you go to the Golden Basket.
Woo!
It is a fairly small inn. It smells of fresh baked bread. There are, besides...
He has food for everything.
Oh yeah. Besides the barrels of kegs and
Yeah,
wine and all that behind the bar, there are baskets of various breads with their little labels chalked, on the slate hangers in front of them. They do, in fact, specialize in breads and like charcuterie boards and sandwiches and bread bowls of soup and stews.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's get lots of sandwiches, my lord.
I'm already thinking.
it is small,
So much.
and it is not.
No, come on.
It is not a high end.
Okay.
It's like 4 copper pieces, and you get
You get so many sandwiches, my lord.
a chamber that like you pretty much have to set up your own bedroll and crap in. Like
That's good.
it's pretty low profile. Like it is. The inn was kind of tacked on to this bakery.
The
Sounds
Golden
perfect,
Basket.
dude. I don't even know why we wouldn't ever want to stay in a place like this.
So once we walk in, kind of
Mhm.
hang on. Once we walk in and kind of see what we got going on.
Imagine waking up and smelling this bread. Oh, sorry. Were you speaking?
Smelling this bread. We're just all about the bread. So our next like, fuck. There's other
Once
things.
I kind of realize what we've got,
We were over like,
I want
bread
to
sandwiches.
rent the inn. What would it cost to rent the inn?
Like the whole.
Like kick everyone out.
Inn is ours now. It's our base of operations while we're
Okay
here.
with that.
I mean, you can just pay the 4 copper for however many days you want to stay per room.
How many rooms do they have?
They have.
74.
There are 2 rooms available for rent.
Oh.
Yes, we'll take those indefinitely for 5 gold. Okay, but hush. Copper, nothing. Here's ping.
Yeah.
Ping.
Would you give them a couple
this
gold?
forever. And they're like, okay, and 2 gold, right? Does that?
2 gold will get it for a lot of days.
Yeah.
Yep, your meals, your stay, everything. The bartender is
This is underhanded.
Those really good moves.
the bartender is kind of like an ugly human. I mean, you can't really tell. You're Dragonborn, like,
He's great.
Also,
but
faces are some.
and he's fairly
Smashed
dark.
in.
Like he's like
Can I name him Ichabod?
tanned. Like
His name is Ichabod.
okay,
Yes, Ichabod.
How many copies did you pay for that?
Fuck
Change
that.
his
His
name.
name's Ichabod. I didn't pay no coppers. I paid a bunch of gold.
What's your name?
but he's
Spike?
got
Ichabod now.
he's got blonde hair. It's just a mat of kind of like spikiness.
Ichabod.
And he's like, yeah. His hands are like constantly covered in flour, like whitened out because he's working with the bread all day.
And he's bartender?
Yep.
I love Ichabod.
He's good. Good people.
But yeah, he takes it away. He's like, well, thank you, sirs, thank you.
I'm just glad to be off a boat.
Well, have a seat anyway you want. We'll bring you drink, food, wines, meads, ales,
Yes.
stouts.
Oh yes.
While we are here, Ichabod, tell us about the dwarven presence in this area.
Oh, you mean Iron Master?
Is that the only dwarven presence?
Pretty much. I mean, I know a couple dwarves. I have dwarves as friends.
You gotta get dwarves.
But he's like, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of dwarves that live amongst the humans as well, but they're not like they're hill dwarves, not mountain dwarves. The mountain, like the most. If you want to talk dwarves, it's Iron Master, and Iron Master doesn't let anyone in there. So,
My lord, perhaps.
and you have a map to where to go, and it's not Iron Master.
Right.
It's
I get that.
Volkundrel. It's
there. It is,
yeah, it's
Vol-
further inland.
I get that.
That's where we have to go to find this Forge Master? Okay.
No, you need to find a forge. You were getting a forge master
Um,
from Iron Master
okay,
to
so
come with you.
that's what I thought.
to-
We
to-
still have to deal with them somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I also just found
Were
out
you here when
that
they said
we have a couple
when the Rangers
dwarves.
said
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're gonna
they're
send
gonna send
people to find you?
I also found a couple dwarves in town by asking some questions.
Yeah.
And spreading two
Hey,
gold.
dwarf.
But they're
What
like
do you know about forges?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you guys know? You guys know about dwarves?
he names off a couple dwarves he knows. A lot of them are craftsmen, carpenter. This guy, a fisherman. That guy.
I bet these might be the dwarves who I'm not looking for.
So he brings out a pitcher each of Chaotic Tooth Cabernet Sauvignon,
Chaotic Tooth Cabernet.
I like it.
a
Chaotic
sultry
Tooth
Anvil Pilsner,
It's a Pilsner? Nobody makes a Pilsner. Nobody makes a Pilsner.
that's the way beer went, man.
That's a good Pilsner.
And Randy Ram Fruit Ale.
Enjoy.
He also
I'll
pours
drink
you.
both of those, the ale and the fucking.
He also pours you each a little shot of Deadly Pit rum to warm you up.
Nice.
It is a molasses rum, but it
Oh, it's
is
dark as shit.
it is cheap and pretty rough. That's what he sounds like after he hits it.
I like some of that. Awesome.
Gross.
So
It's character acting.
there's
Sorry, I have pneumonia. Bye, guys.
there are several people here in the tavern. They look like locals. They don't look high quality.
They're still here?
Yeah.
Then we just kick them out?
No.
No, we didn't buy the fucking place. We just
Amazing.
for
I
indefinite
just
time.
paid $2 to really get that shit done.
There's you got this whole food play.
Oh,
They bring
yeah.
over bread. They bring over
They're like
meats
gold.
and cheeses
it.
and cured vegetables, cured and pickled vegetables. So the regulars here, there's like about a dozen people in this entire place. They look like some fishermen, some workers. There's a family, like a woman with a couple kids that look like they're here. This place is it's a small little restaurant bakery.
Great.
And there's the couple heavy drinkers that look like this is their hangout spot, but this is not a bustling
Right.
tavern or where to get the big scoops.
Well,
Did my $2 go anywhere? Are we learning anything from the local?
He'll tell you anything you want to know that he knows. He just
Ask Ichabod all you want to know.
I'm just gonna relax. Eat
These
some
guys.
bread.
he doesn't seem that well. Like he owns an inn, one of the several inns and taverns in this place. So he knows a lot. He has a lot of connections, but you get the feeling that he's not in it. Like he's not.
He's not going to give me.
He's a man of the
information.
community. He's not someone that is. And he gossips. He'll gossip about this or that, but it's super mundane town stuff.
I hate to say this, but it's time for us to drunkenly wander to a different
Where are you going?
different bar.
Wait
you
on these
pick.
dwarves.
Yeah, you pick a bar. Yeah.
Wolf and Rust Monster for sure.
All right, you walk into the Wolf and Rust Monster.
We crush the door. We kick the door in.
Probably don't kick the
We
door.
probably
you,
kick the door in.
shouldn't do that. The Wolf and Rust Monster.
We should have kicked the door
We
in.
go through the door aggressively.
Yeah, you
With the
crash.
servers, like, we
You
should have kicked the door in.
You crash into the place.
We're drunk.
We're drunk enough. This place is much more happening. There are two musicians, one on a lyre and one on a dulcimer. Like they're popping out a pretty dancey tune. There's some people that are adding lyrics to it, and you think this is probably local lyric stuff that they're just having some fun with it.
I have to say, if they're singing and they're playing music, I'm gonna go to where best
Let
dancing
me
is.
finish the description of the place, man.
Sorry.
You don't know. There could be something even cooler going on. Above the bar, there is this thing like mounted to the wall. It looks carved out of wood, but I think you're the only one that would know if I just said that there was a rust monster head on the wall.
Next time rust monsters come up, I would like to see a rust monster.
We got like the moth antenna thing.
Yeah, the whoop. So, I'll show you several images. You can form if this ever fucking loads. So it looks like kind of a cockroachy, weird face. And this is just the head mounted. There's almost like a shell over top of it, but it has these two plumes that come out of it, and they're like moth. There's like moth tendrils, but super long.
Antenna, yeah.
No, I have like the antenna. They're little palps that have like the feathering on the side, like of them.
Yeah. And that's how they destroy your shit.
Yeah, if rust monsters, as you will come to find out, literally they eat metal they corrode it into rust and then devour and then suck in the rust and eat it.
It's a great way to lose your gear.
It's like a quadruped insect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite being an insect.
But so the head of this thing is like this big.
So there's two other images that are free.
It's one of the few non-mythological creatures.
It's
they
a
use
quadruped insect.
And then one of their own home design.
Yeah. So it's this wood carved.
So it's not an actual.
It's not an actual head. It's a carved representation of it, and it's wood carved and it's massive. Like above the bar, those things come out quite a ways.
Cool. Do they like
over
around things? And stuff
No,
like
but they
that?
are coming out past the bar, like above seating and things like that, and it's up there. Also, at a prominent place over the hearth is a wolf that's been stuffed, taxidermied.
Right.
Like a full wolf, like climbing over the mantle of the fireplace. The original owner.
They're tapping the wolf.
Well, it's over the hearth. It's not behind the bar, so it's over the fireplace.
Gotcha.
Like if you walk in and ask about the name of the place, the bartender goes right into
I'm sure there's a
like
whole...
yep, and it's well practiced.
Yeah.
It is. The original proprietor was a soldier, and he got separated from his unit. He was a mercenary. He's kind of out on his own. He was hungry. Like he didn't know which way the settlement was. He didn't have much food left, and he wasn't really wounded. He had like a twisted ankle or something like that, and he's like didn't know if he was going to survive. And a wolf happened upon him, and he looked at the wolf, and he was eating his last bit of ration, and the wolf looked hungry, like it's been ostracized and starved. And he's like, I could kill this wolf and eat. I could kill this wolf and stay here. But instead, he threw his ration to the wolf.
Great fool.
And the wolf took the ration and ran off. He was moving on and took shelter in a cave. And out of that cave, a rust monster came. And he had bought, he is a mercenary, but he had to buy his own armor, his own weapons.
Yeah.
That was his livelihood.
And it got destroyed by this rust monster.
And this rust monster comes up, and he's like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And the wolf came in and killed the rust monster to protect him. And he,
That's food, man.
all right, and then they ate the rust monster. And he kept the wolf with him.
Yeah, he killed the stuffed wolf.
He kept the wolf with him till its dying day.
Yeah.
That is not the wolf. That is just a wolf that he commissioned. He actually, he doesn't waste anything. The owner, the proprietor, wears a wolf skin pelt of his companion, type thing. But,
that's cool.
yeah, that's the story of the wolf and rust monster. There seems to be a lot of the hero types here, but these are there's a couple other adventurers, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of folk here that think that they are, like, I'm going to be a hero or this and that. There's also lots of like town guard on their off time here, things like that. This is the hero adventurer bar.
Yeah. Definitely spies in this place, my lord. Just be aware. But we should absolutely brag to everyone.
Did you hear that story?
I did not.
Well, tell it,
Mercenary gets separated from his company, got a bum ankle, out in the middle of nowhere, last of his rations. A starving wolf comes upon him, growling and all this stuff. And he's like, I could kill this wolf, I could kill it just because it's going to kill me. But instead he threw his ration to it, and the wolf ate it and ran off. He then finds a cave for the night to sleep, and a rust monster comes out from the depths of the cave, and he's sitting there, and like his entire livelihood, he spent his entire like fortune, his entire life savings to become a mercenary and buy his armor and buy his sword. And this rust monster comes out, and he's like, I'm fucked. Like, this thing's going to destroy my gear, and I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to go back to my fishing village. And the wolf comes out and kills the rust monster to save him, and they end up eating the rust monster, and him and the wolf become companions for the rest of their days. He was an adventurer with his wolf companion, and he settled here back home and opened this inn.
Ask him what rust monster tastes like.
He's not there.
Oh. Has he told you?
Said it was kind of irony. Just like copper.
Oh, ironic. It's not ironic. It's got iron in the name.
But there's a lot of people that love boisterous. They're boisterous.
Yeah.
They got spirit. They got fight. They think they're young men here young men and women that have like that wanderlust in their eyes. They don't want to be at a fishing town for the rest of their life. That kind of stuff.
Grown hardy and
Well, can't I make some sort of performance about our...
Good luck, buddy. You can try. So, what exactly are you going to say?
Food.
Like, are you going to give away what you are? Like,
No, I want to.
because you don't. I don't know if you want to do that, but it's just some of your exploits.
I want to give them a retelling of our boat adventure only.
And then kind of out of context at that, not mentioning why you were on there and all that.
Hey, one time we took a boat. And we fought the Sahagin and the Marrow, and it was crazy, and we got a 19.
See, when you try to entertain your own group, you fail.
I know.
And then when you try to entertain others, you like actually do something good.
I like to think
people
that still
fucking-
sounds bad to us. Like,
Yeah, they're like,
Oh, see you next.
this
People
fucking
are
asshole. Everyone else is like,
Yeah.
very good. You're like, man, fuck this guy.
people
You guys
are
know this is
eating
right?"
it up. Though there's so many people that are like, oh my god, you guys are so worldly, and of course, just even looking at you, you guys got a little crowd because they ain't no Dragonborn here. You have a nice little crowd. They're enraptured by your tales. I don't know if you had a plan to do something with this, to try to make money, to try to get information, but
No, just
you can kind of.
embolden ourselves. You guys can make decisions based off the fact
Yeah, he's
that
got this
the
little
red
group
loves
going. What do you guys
She'll
do?
be there when you get there. No.
Is there another? Is there another lager in there?
There is one tiny bottle left in the...
Dibs? Nothing. Golly, I'm just here to relax, drink, and keep an eye on these 2, 3, and yeah, just like kind of like added things like, well, don't forget this part. Yeah, we're just waiting on dwarves to find us, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Are there actually? I will try to find out. Are there any cool shops in this town?
Do you like fish?
Yes.
There's a lot of
We all like fish,
places to buy fish. No,
place?
I mean there's the Smiths, there's
Yeah.
general stores, there's all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. There's not really like artificers or anything crazy going on up here.
Yeah.
Someone will talk about, there's the mad wizard up on this street, but
What? Really?
who even knows if that's real or if that's just some hedge wizard that.
Let's go find a wizard.
And it's getting late. Probably time to either hit one more place or
Or
go to sleep.
Get drunk and find a wizard.
I think we should hit one more place.
All right, what place do you want to hit?
One more place. Oh shit.
Who has the names written down?
We got Bloodrill Snughaven, Fellafreeze Inn, Gelden Stag's Rest, Hooked
We
to
should go to
Knucklehead.
the Wolf and Rust monster.
That's where
You're
we are
at the
now.
Wolf and Rust Monster.
I thought we were
And
at the Golden Basket.
No, that's where
the
you
first
started.
place
We
went.
should go
That's the
back
place.
to the Golden Basket.
I mean, we could go back to the
Or Northlook.
There's
The
the
Rose and
Northlook,
Rope.
there's the Hooked Knucklehead, Kelvin's Comfort,
The Hooked Knucklehead.
and Rose and Rope.
If I'm in any way control of anything we're doing, we're going to the Hooked Knucklehead.
Is that where you want to go?
Yeah,
All right, the Hooked
That's a sailor
Knucklehead.
fucking- That's a sailor bar.
No, it's not. It's a fisherman's.
Damn,
Like
fisherman's.
it's in the middle of town, next to the market.
Don't tell these guys that.
Yeah, it's the middle of town, next to the market. You go in there, it is a shithole. It's kind of like a warehouse that they just said. Like, you remember going into the old Nimbus?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's-
It's still there, by the way.
well, it's closed.
The old one?
Yep, and the one on down off 36th or 39th or whatever it is in the industrial area.
No
Oh yeah,
way.
it's been closed for like a year.
That is it? Wow.
Mhm. Yep, Nimbus is
It's been
gone.
my mom's bar.
Yep.
No.
So it is it's a warehouse. They have some rooms in the back. People even tell you though they don't like it. The rooms are just stone with no hearths, no nothing. They're cold as crap. So anyone that stays here just stays in the middle next to the hearth, like sleeping in sleeping bags. But you can tell that there's a lot of business going on here. Shadily and non, like this looks since it's right off the market. People come here like, hey, let's go have a pint and talk about our business. So it's kind of died down since it's so late. This is a place where the proprietor definitely sits back, doesn't get into anybody's business, and you can do kind of whatever you want. He's not poking his nose where it doesn't belong, and people can do what they kind of want here. Yeah,
right.
when you walk in, like
It's my kind of place.
it's one of those places when you walk in, like everyone's like and looks over at the door, and then they like some of them turn back, others keep staring because of you being you, and then that's it.
Walking like this.
Where are the Knuckleheads?
Can I find out, is there any kind of gambling going on?
You can find a couple games.
Yeah, find some games.
Alright, wait,
I'm
you can
I'm
talk
gaming.
about
You guys do what you want to do.
Yep.
I found some games, so do what you want to do.
I also eat some fish.
Yeah.
Just want to eat fish. Do you have fish
Yeah.
for sale?
Yeah.
They do.
Yes.
Never had a Knucklehead
Feed it
before.
to me. Yeah.
They are ugly fish.
I don't really know if this is the kind of place that I would even like care to try to find information.
Yeah.
You could always
A
look.
lot of it, when you sit down and gamble, a lot of it is just local business. Above ground, above the table and below the table. This is where it happens. Not super well connected, no like thieves guilds things going on, but you hear something about a smuggling this here and protection racket there.
I learned nothing of consequence.
We don't know
It's
when-
we're having a
Nothing
good
for
time.
your
Yeah, we're
adventure,
having a
but
good time.
yeah.
Huh?
We
I'm
don't know
having a
when
good
these
time.
doors are going to find us. The sending something.
No,
we don't know.
we-
Yeah,
just
you've
been told
just
that-
got here, so
Yeah, I mean, we
This is
probably
also our
could.
third.
probably
stop.
need a day or two.
Yeah.
We were told by Dallaston that they're going to send their convoy or envoy or whatever the fuck it is.
I
but
suggest that we stay
not
here.
when or where.
The
Yeah.
Golden Basket, even as cheap as it is way better than this place.
Mhm.
Because you'd have to stay in public. You'd have to sleep on the floor with other people
I
here.
suggest here, but Golden Baskets.
And you already paid 2 gold for Golden Baskets
What
rooms.
the hell are you talking about?
Let's see.
Have you been here the last
do you want
30
to
minutes? Or...
play? Yeah, wanna play some games with me? Get in here. Look at this.
So-
These fucking dice. Look at this fucking dice.
At the end of the night, you stumble back to the Golden Basket and stay in your plain ass
We already
rooms.
decided it.
Yeah.
There's no fucking beds in these rooms. Why
So
are there no beds?
I throw my hat on the ground and sleep on it.
We all have bed rolls.
I know.
She's like, I can't even cast Lehman's Hut in here.
Oh, that's a good thought, though.
And we have
Oh,
2
needs open
rooms,
space for that.
obviously.
Yeah.
Those 2 are together again, and you and I are
Go
together.
steal some bread that we can use as pillows.
You have a bedroll and a.
I would
Bag.
suggest you
I also
steal.
already stole the bread.
You already bought the bread.
I bought it. Oh, sorry, I forgot. 2 gold is a lot of
Yeah.
money here.
So
I eat my pillow.
yeah, the next
We both
morning.
were like, both of us
The
eating
next
it.
morning, there's
Uh,
bread,
uh.
like pretty much eggies in a basket with the bread from last night, all toasted up and buttered. And I mean, the food's good. The bread is very good. But
Yeah.
again, this place is just a bakery that tacked rooms onto it to
God.
stay in.
Bakery breakfast is
Yeah.
amazing.
It smells
Do
so
they have
good.
any warm drinks in the morning?
They can warm up some mead. They have some coffee. They have some.
Yeah.
Good. You go-
Freezing in this place. They
go-
probably don't have
go-
it. They probably don't have any heat.
This is the first time ever we're gonna be like,
Uh-huh.
you go to your
Fire.
business because Robert and I are very.
It
big
is a bakery. They
with
have
our-
several hearths
with our bread
making
and
fire.
coffee right
It's
now.
actually the main room is really warm
Oh,
because
good.
of all the.
Oh, right.
They're
After
baking
a-
bread like
Yeah.
in massive
After, I was
ovens.
gonna say, after a month at sea, like this bread and coffee is gonna be enough to
I-
distract the fuck out of me right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Anything? Are you gonna just kind of bar hop the next day?
No, we're gonna. I'm
Or
gonna
are you
stay
gonna
with
just stay?
bread and
Do we
coffee
want
for
to? Do
me.
we want to ask around? Ask him about if anyone knows anything about Volcundral. I mean, I know we know where to go, but like, you think people think it's worth
It is
looking
an
into?
ancient city that most people probably wouldn't remember, but
I heard there's a wizard.
I mean, that's part of what the whole like bar hopping thing is like we're trying to like find somewhere like where we maybe think that we could talk to somebody that might have information.
I've hit 4 different
I'm just-
bars in the last
I just
one
want to
day.
establish
I'm
like
staying
last
with the
night.
coffee. I was staying with coffee
The
and
thing is, like,
bread.
you stay with the coffee till like for the morning till noon. You have a nice sandwich for lunch,
I do the whole.
but then
thing.
by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Come on, Xernax. You're getting antsy. You're not going to stay all night
what I'm
in this
asking
bakery.
is, like, are we
I'll figure out what they're doing.
trying to be careful not to mention
I know
Volcundral?
he's super
Or
eager.
do you think it's fine if we just kind of choosy, kind of like,
I
this
don't-
person's probably alright.
don't think we should mention Volcundral. If anything, we just
I mean, the problem with trying to gather any type of information is whatever you say or ask for is information you've just given out.
Yeah.
the only
That's
thing
fair.
I
We probably
the only thing
I mean, you're
think
dumb,
we
so
ask
you'd probably just
about
do it.
is the dwarves and
No,
Iron
you're-
Master. Like why? Like what's so weird about that?
Yeah, if you ask around about the Dwarves of Iron Master, everyone up here says that's just the way they've always been. They're
Yeah.
super stubborn. They're paranoid.
anyone know how their boats float?
No,
Don't
especially up here, they're all fishermen with regular boats. They're like, how do you put metal on a boat and not have it sink?
I know.
Right. Like, we can't put too many fish in a boat without having it sink. We don't know what they're doing.
So I guess we would honestly just kind of dilly dally around.
Yeah.
Until,
You guys hit some of the other ends. Like, most of the ones that have people's names are just long-standing, institutions of this place, like older inns, the Felfari's Inn, the Bloodrill's Snug Haven.
Yeah.
It's only when you get to the Rose and Rope that things are a bit different.
Are they?
First off, the proprietor is a pinkish red tiefling. As you guys walk in, he's
That's a
like,
dragon person.
yeah. He's like, wow, look at you. My gosh. What brings you into my little corner of the... It was like my little corner of the iceberg.
Just real quick, I just want to make sure, is it the only other tiefling we've ever fucking seen in our lives is Lord Cromwell? Cromwell.
We might
Crane.
have seen tieflings. It's the
You've
only other tiefling that we've interacted.
Yeah.
This is the
You've seen
second
tieflings
time
here and
that
there,
we've,
but this is
like,
the only other one that's
rare, and we're conversing with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
No.
Come on. Here, let me get you some warm schnapps.
Oh, yes, please.
And he puts up 4 steaming glasses of clear,
Oh, my
very
goodness.
sweet-smelling liqueur.
Does he have horns?
Yes, he does.
Are they impressive?
They are.
They might not have horns. They all look different.
He
I have
has.
horns. You don't have horns?
You guys all have
You
horns.
do get horns?
Do you have horns? You have horns.
I have horns.
She has horns. You don't have to have horns.
I didn't.
I think
had
you
horns.
I think you went with the slick kind of
Yeah,
head.
I don't think I have horns at all.
Yeah. She has horns. I don't know if you have horns.
I don't think I had horns.
Okay.
I think that I was going to say that
Yeah.
if any of us had horns.
Oh no, she has a fringe.
Yeah.
I have nothing. Mine was.
Yours was slicked back.
Yeah, I
kind of
look
lizard, very
like a
lizardy.
fucking gecko.
So
Wet gecko. I'm dark.
his horns are spirally. They come down
Like this
behind
covered
his
in
ear
liquid.
and come up, and he actually has piercings with like chains that go between the ends of his horns to his ears.
That's
So like
cool.
there's like some webbing between like chain webbing between his ears and horns over here. And they tinkle when like ding 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 when he turns his head. My. What brings Tyrminther Dragonborn into this little hole in the world?
Just make sure I don't have my fucking back down around walking around town and bars hitting on doorways.
What do you know of Tyrminther Dragonborn?
Oh, well. I know that they aren't originally from this world. I mean, you'd know more than I would. I don't want to insult you by talking about your culture, but you asked. I know that you're not from this world. And if I'm not mistaken, by those little, you're Clan Goldath.
So astute. You have us at a disadvantage, Tiefling.
Disadvantage?
Who are you? Where are you
Oh,
from?
I'm Malzyre.
How do you know so much about our homeland?
Well, if you look at our menu, you'll find that our specialty is information here.
Really?
Yes.
Info broker.
We can give you information. We can also give you the right information. We can also, and this is on the daily specials, spread misinformation. What is it you're looking for?
Well, a specialty means that you are proficient in a skill. Information and misinformation are the same skill. How do we trust? How do we pay? How do we understand what it is you sell?
Oh, I just love your accent. How about this? See that booth over there?
I can hate it. It's the worst part of it.
Reserved just for you. I'll send someone right over to take your order.
I grumbly.
Are we conspiring? What just happened? I'm like looking at my.
Do you guys know anything about Tiefling? Do I know anything about Tiefling? I know I've seen a Tiefling.
You've seen tieflings, yeah.
One turned into a dragon.
He also makes a gesture towards you, which you recognize.
Oh.
Thieves can't, like, you know.
I
We
figured
good.
that was- I
You know.
figured that was-
Like, we good.
Stay a while and listen. That's what he keeps
Yeah.
me right now.
Cool.
I get it.
Should we send the booth?
yeah, obviously I bring
Do you
it.
think he knows about the wizard or whole country?
This place is kind of like, it's mahogany everything, nice thick plush chairs. Every table has 3 or 4 candles in the middle, like in a big pot, like all melted down. Super ambiance of kind of like this dark and chill. There's like incense burning.
Windowless. Windowless.
Yeah, there's no windows in here. But everything is just like plush, comforting, and dark, and just kind of like sink yourself into this place and have some decadent cuisine and rich drink and food. So you guys go over to this booth, which pretty much has like that little bead curtain around it, and you can go in there. Without taking very long, a bluish, lightish blue, sky blue tiefling approaches the table. She is in layers that are both, like, there's a lot of places to have things, pockets and layers and, you know, a vest, a coat, of this, but it's also revealing, like her midriff, her thighs, like she has thigh-high boots, and her pants, you know, short, but she also, again, like, just also a bunch of layers on top. She's wearing something rare for you guys to see, spectacles. She's wearing glasses, wire-rimmed glasses. And she parts her way into the place and kind of looks around, and she casts a spell.
Ah.
Arcana for the arcane users, so just you and Iyasa. There. Xernex.
My sword.
Arcane.
It's heavy. Ka-dunk.
Oof. It's not very good. Alright.
No, it's not.
Hush. Inspiration. That's the same roll!
Oh no!
Motherfucker. That's fine. Whatever. So,
What'd you get?
11.
Okay. He also looks over.
It is magic.
He also looks
Roll the
up.
same thing.
He also looks up and looks over to see if you picked up what just happened. But like she just does a little gesture and casts a spell. You two can make Arcana to see if you. Well, no, it's pretty obvious. It's obvious she casts a spell. You just don't. You just don't know what it is because it's very much an arcane spell.
Yeah.
That just happened.
I get visibly nervous.
So she does that, and then she like puts down, like she does that with one hand and puts down a tray with another, which has drink and food on it, and she says, "Greetings, I am Bliss. I hear you have need of my services."
It is bliss.
And she takes all the food and drink off the tray and leaves the tray in front of her. So like she like pretty much
She's
serves.
holding all the food and drink.
No, she puts it in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Like your drink, your food, this and that. But the tray is still sitting on the table in front of her.
Oh.
And
Cool.
she's standing at the end of the table looking at, you around the...
Well,
At this point, I'm useless at this point. You've got to say something.
You're useless? You're the thief.
I know. I mean, I have uses, but I need someone else to use it.
So what did she say again?
I hear you're in need of my services.
Like, being ignorant to this situation, I would probably just be like, exactly what services are those?
I am an information broker.
I cast Thunderwave.
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
Is that still on your thing?
Yeah.
I need to refresh it.
I know.
Alright.
do you think? I'll say in Draconic. I don't know if she speaks Draconic or not. I don't really care that much, but just like kind of like quietly, like, do you think these people might be able to find if anyone's looking for us in this town?
She looks at you. Kind of just an impassive look on her face. You don't know if she understood you or not. But like she looks at you when you talk, and then she looks at whoever you were talking to see, So he just said that.
What was your question?
Do you think these people would be able to find if there's anyone looking for us here?
Yes.
Is that something we might want to bargain with them? Or should we just not trust these weird demon people? Sorry, devil people.
I don't know, that one guy made some weird symbol towards Xernex here. I don't know if he has any thoughts
I'll
on
interrupt. Why the cloak and dagger? Why are we being hidden from the main occupancy of this establishment?
Would you rather state your business in public view? I mean, we can accommodate that as well.
Would you prefer to state your business in public view?
Well, that's why we don't.
Then state your view while we are in private. State your purpose.
Information broker. I already said that.
Yeah.
I believe she's trying to hire the services out for our benefit.
I am here for you. What is it you would like to know? Or not know? Or not other people to know?
Well, we kind of blew our cover. We're bar hopping all night.
We're heading to Fireshare. Where's our ultimate?
Fireshare.
Fireshare is where we're going, right?
No, you passed. You're done with Fireshare.
So where are we headed?
Volcundral.
Volcundral, excuse me.
I wouldn't say anything about that because you're the only people that know where it's at.
Yeah.
But again, like you were saying, you had a very specific question. Still hasn't been answered.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask. We might be under the impression. Okay, no, stop me. We might be under the impression that we are being hunted, and is it? I don't know how vast your skills are, but you think you'd be able to tell if certain people are looking for us in this very town?
She starts spinning the tray that's in front of her, and makes the symbol towards you in Thieves' Cant for 50.
I don't know. I don't know what she's just wiggling her fingers.
Having us. It seems
50 scales.
It seems someone may be following us.
What?
She's asking for money.
Oh.
That's why I said 50 copper.
Oh, you're right, motherfucker.
Probably.
I obviously don't speak Thieves' Cant. That's bullshit.
Whoops.
I'll make him throw her 10 gold.
She specifically made the number of 50.
I'll give her 50 gold.
Okay, so you take 50 gold and put it on the tray, and she waves her as she's spinning it, and her hand goes around. The moment her hand goes around and the gold's on there, it disappears.
Ooh.
And she says, "Yes, indeed. Quite dangerous to be walking around as 4 Dragonborn in the north right now. A specific entity and its associates are looking for you. I believe their favorite color is purple.
Oh, she's good.
They have eyes and ears all throughout this town. In fact, they even tried to hire us.
Oh.
Full disclosure."
Oh. Are you allowed to tell us if they did?
She makes a symbol for 50 and starts spinning the tray again.
I have no idea she's making it. I don't know why you did that, but it was really cool trick.
Give her. Alright, god damn it. I can't even I love how my money is not clicking right now. It's like, no, you more money? There it is. Alright, 50?
I mean, you could just ask us.
You could tell anyone else to do it as well.
Shut up.
You're just letting her know that you go to Cindy's camp.
Zero next coming back. Alright, cool. 50 bucks. 50 bucks.
50 gold.
50 gold.
Okay, again, it disappears. Indeed, they have already paid us quite hefty sum to report any Dragonborn that come in here. We, of course, want to hear all sides to any negotiations. So no reports have been made. Specifically, there is a man up here. The man's name is Lord Crane, who is looking for you.
Crane!
I begin spending additionally. Is there any information from the south that you require?
You try to broker back. She's like, if you have any information that you think could be of value, you can state it, and we will assess and pay its worth.
Make the 50 cents. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well,
I mean, we don't just barter in gold, but it helps.
So.
No, that's it. What do you gotta say?
I was talking out of character, but do you realize that she's
in character?
She's
do it in character. You got something to say?
Now he's got something meta to say right now.
I know,
that he
but
might be missing.
We're money.
okay. All right. Oh, with money, I wasn't going to say anything about that. I was just recapping what we just learned from her. Is that we're basically in a situation where they've been already paid to find us, and here we are. So it sounds like we don't. We could probably outspend that to keep that information away from
That's a good
Crane.
point.
Is what she's
And to
proposing.
share for 50 bucks.
She says,
I don't have anything.
No.
I think Lord Crane spent more than 50 gold to find us.
More than 100, which
Yeah,
is
I
how
would
much you
say-
spent to find that information.
So I give up on that. Yeah,
I mean, you can keep asking her for information. You've spent 50 into it.
No.
I'm sorry,
We
or 100
succumb
into it.
to
Yeah,
selling information. There's nothing. I have
Yeah.
nothing.
Well,
No.
we're about the beholder and Neverwinter
You
Keep.
would want to share that.
What?
You can.
Neverwinter's so far away.
As
Hey, it might be information for them.
That's fine.
If you-
We met a beholder.
Now,
we don't want to give too much away, so
no, you could totally do that. It's kind of like the beholder and the
Colton's there. It has nothing to do with
the
us,
Red
so.
Wizards. It's just I don't want to get too bogged down and then you trying to get money back for information from her.
That's what I was
But,
getting at.
like, it's-
what can I share? To get
right,
money back?
to-
If he has nothing and I can't, like I opened up the conversation, but I have nothing. I don't.
Yeah.
I thought for fucking sure Rofrost was some asshole comment about getting the money back, so there's no money back.
Yeah. And you might be able to at the end. Let's just focus on
Yeah.
what you want from them now. Do you want more information, or do you want to try to counter information?
Yeah, like how good was their side of the story?
Well, we here try not to get in too deep with certain factions.
Remember though that her reluctance to give up information doesn't mean that she doesn't have information. If you guys have money,
She'll ask for it.
if you have money,
So,
we keep asking questions.
but yeah, keep asking. So what did you ask?
I asked
Just wanna
how
keep
good
going.
was their side of the
Oh.
story. How much did they pay for
It's
us?
like their side of the story, their monetary value of the side of the story was substantial. It was 5 times what has been put on the tray already, and that was just a goodwill offering.
How much did you throw on that trade? It was just gone. I just saw a
Yeah.
splash of gold.
It was at least
It was 2 splashes of gold.
Yeah. So pretty much what she just said,
Yeah.
you doing the math, is 500 gold is what
Yeah.
they've been paid already by that. She's like, but we have no allegiances to people that wear purple and their schemes.
What?
Money. We can't ask any more questions about money. That's.
No, she hasn't. You ask the question, then she signs how much she wants for the answer.
Oh, so that's
How do we know you wouldn't just tell us both these things? Oh. How do I trust you,
Allegiance is money.
information broker? Yeah.
Money.
So
Give any.
you know that Crane's out trying to look for you. He's specifically spread money up here to do it.
Yeah.
500 at this place.
Yeah.
I've
But
already
they
topped
also,
up 100.
yeah,
No,
they also
Just
don't.
look
Look at my ways.
I'll spend every freaking penny I have.
Don't do that. Just ask the right question.
Yeah, just ask questions.
Yeah,
and see what she says.
how much I have. So.
I mean, you each have 200 plus.
You have the same amount as I do. You have way less than I do.
Anything you want to ask?
Direction, force number, building of barricades, forces, areas.
Do they have a camp out here?
She starts spinning the tray and signs another 50.
I'll get this one. Oh, I didn't. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah.
You can ask them.
No, I can. I'm gonna do this one more time.
All right. So she says, we have met but one liaison up here. We know that they left some surprise, apparently, for you in Fireshear, but you being here means that you have circumvented that. A white dragon named Icewing was waiting for you.
Ooh.
But here, there is but one liaison.
This is money well spent. Are you kidding me?
Now, you know that there's someone here in town,
Yeah. I'm absolutely going to ask.
and you also know that he
for
hired a
this.
white dragon, or
Yeah.
has coerced a white dragon into his
What
service.
was that name?
Icewing.
Keep it in the moment.
Sorry, what?
Stop us at Fireshear.
How about how long ago did they inquire about us?
He says, 1 10-day ago, the liaison arrived.
Double
Who or what is this liaison?
Starts spinning the tray, signs you another 50.
That's when I tell you, I'm like,
Huh?
50 cool.
I'll get it. Jeez, I don't give a shit.
Disappears.
Hello.
This is.
That's the entire mission.
Yeah.
The integrity of the entire mission.
Like Easter eggs, like this is a lot of money.
We technically just, each made 200. So
Well, yeah, you can spend it. What's your gold count at?
What are we gonna spend? More fish? And the fucking this town is nothing for us.
fish, fuck fish, bread.
Split it with him. Give him
bread.
25. Take 25 out of your gold count.
I'll get the next round. Won't you call me?
The
on that?
next round.
You think?
Mm-hmm. You took 50 out of your count.
Yeah.
And that 50 was for
The
Who
name
this
of
liaison?
liaison.
Yeah.
who and what?
Who
they are?
and
Right.
what is this
I
liaison?
know, I lost 150 just.
Or I think I
figuring
said
out
who
what's
or
going on.
what. But
I was
whatever.
like, my question got answered without having to pay.
Yeah, because it was part of the other information.
It was a two-parter. High wisdom.
One second, sorry.
No. You got any questions, chat?
Yeah, Wes, you still here? I know you were drinking.
Yeah, I think he's zonked
Let's say,
out.
like, Rebecca and Wes have been way silent the whole fucking
I
session.
mean, are we that boring or are we that enrapturing?
I mean, I've been paying attention to
Yeah,
the
you
viewers, so
I
at
would
one
listen
point
to
we
it.
had up to 6.
God, if there's a dragon hidden in this town. And if they do know that we're here, they could probably get word to this white dragon back at Fireshare and come on join the party.
Oh, Lord and Savior Ace.
Hey,
Big fan,
thinking
thanks.
of questions.
You like what you've seen so far?
We definitely need to know who this liaison is, though. Oh man, we already spent a day carousing and drinking. We stick out like sore thumbs. If this liaison is any kind of cleverness to them, they probably know it, and they probably had a day's time to go send word to the white dragon to come and eat us.
The liaison that has been here looking for you is Tristan Goldring.
That doesn't sound like a dragon's name.
Oh, there is more to him than
Trust in what?
Tristan Goldring.
Okay, gold ring. First I thought it was gold wing. I was like, what? It definitely sounds like a
Obviously not a dragon.
He is a gnome, and he has strong magical patrons. Something feeds him magic and empowers him.
Oh, does he now?
He is got quite the reputation amongst those that wear purple. He can appear almost anywhere in the land, and has a ruthlessness to him.
Appear anywhere in the land.
Did you guys already say hi to Ace?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
He's trying to think of questions as well.
Yeah.
So,
A
Yes.
gnome. A gnome.
his specialty is travel and divination. But he is a ruthless opponent. After his appearance here, we have not seen him since, but that does not mean his eyes are not still upon this town.
We need to find this gnome. Beat him up.
I think pretty sure we just got told it'd be hard to find him.
Yeah, but we
He
also
still
have.
spreads money
Yeah.
for his information, and
We could set up a. Oh, sorry. Anyway.
you have already contributed significantly to our establishment here. We thank you for that.
Thank you. Your business is probably
Could we enlist
save
your
our-
aid in identifying this gnome through further monetary donations?
Well, we cannot identify him. As I said, he is a master of moving unseen, especially across great distances. He may be in Kalimshan right now, for all we know.
Perhaps he identifies himself through donation here.
But you've made mention that you're willing to part with some information of your own. Lord Crane and Tristan did not enlighten us exactly why they're after you. We might be able to pad some of the funding you have given us if you want to share some information about your quest and why you are so wanted.
This sort of information is the best kept secret.
Well, we obviously wouldn't just turn it around and sell it to your enemies if you are specifically giving it to us for that, the purpose of it not landing in theirs. But it could be worth something to others that aren't directly involved in your...
I'll gladly tell you something about Crane. He poses as a Lord Crane, but of the great. He says he's a Lord of the Great Peaks, but he's in fact the Red Dragon that terrorizes those lands.
Consider that a free taste
Free?
of what the
No,
rest
it doesn't
of
have to
the
be
information
It doesn't have to
could
be
possibly be.
No, she says, we thank you for that, but we already know.
Oh.
We already knew who Lord Crane's identity was.
That's not negotiating information if you tell them the information.
Well, she said you have to tell us it when
Yeah,
you say
pretty
how
much
that information's worth.
for
which
this-
she just did.
Yeah, it's a weird situation,
Mhm.
but you give them information and they will tell you how much that's worth to them.
Before we begin, perhaps state information pertinent to your uses.
Well, we are quite curious as to what it is you are doing up here in the north. Where is your destination? Why is it that someone of Lord Crane and people so fond of purple would want you stopped? Note that we know what's going on back in... God damn it, I forgot the name of the nation. But they named the... Not Tyrmanther, but the one that's opposing you.
Unther?
Older?
Not Gunther, no.
No, I
it's
thought that was.
Oh.
Unther. right?
Unther.
Unther. Yeah. We do know what's going on in Unther and their fascination and even their progress towards summoning things from other
We
places.
could have a quick huddle anyway. We have need of a dwarven forge
Yeah. She's like, if you wish, I can give you
Reasons.
time.
for reasons that aren't like what kind of fake reason can we have for a dwarven forge?
I think we can be quite truthful and honest about of us omitting certain parts because, after all, if it's loyalty to coin,
Lying through omission is the only line I permit.
it's not even lying. We could just say, tell them that we have to omit certain things. We don't have to be skullduggerers. We could just be quite upfront. This is a business transaction.
So what would we?
We're looking at you. What are we gonna tell them? Like we're looking for a dwarven forge to make a god weapon to fight the enemy of our people that you've seen in dreams, but we can't tell them that because they already know that Crane is looking for us.
They've already got paid that Crane is looking for you.
They've been paid by the people looking for us.
But if the information you do tell them can make them more money than what Crane paid them in other venues, then they may help you by not telling Crane.
Yeah, and let's consider the following: that Crane knows why he's after us, and that's the only person we don't want to know of us being here at all. They already know that we are the people they're looking for, so honestly, I don't really even see the harm anymore of them knowing our grand quest.
Also, you've told Neverember, you've told Ronve, You've told pretty much everyone you've encountered, the brothers.
Damn right I have.
You've told everyone what you're doing.
But I'm trying to be careful.
And as you said, Crane already knows why he's after you.
Yeah. And he's the only one we care about knowing that we're here.
Well, I mean, there might be others that you don't want knowing.
We need to secretly locate the Dwarven Forge because we accidentally found out that the pinion contains a material that was herefore to not understood.
Yeah. Omitting the fact that you know where the location of the forge is may be a good thing.
Because we know where we're headed. We're pushing through.
You don't want to know that, but the rest of your quest is kind of common knowledge between a lot of people.
We are very loud.
Right, and you're
I'm the loudest.
and I do get like
I've been
you
here
get
before,
inspiration.
like, shut up.
You get inspiration back because you are like trying to keep them from doing things, but you're also talking to a paladin and a priest, and you just got off a boat with a bunch of Vikings who love to boast about exploits. Like you're up in Viking territory where people love that kind of crap. So telling these people that you're like, oh, we're going to go make a god weapon like for our god.
They fear what we are going to create.
So you were saying it was negative for us to say that we know where the forge is.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
understand that.
That's
because
yeah,
Craig
because
might not know where Volcondrol is.
yeah, you're the only ones with that map besides
Yeah. Remember what we did to
Iridon.
that map?
yeah.
With this
Cleaning the floor. Like
Oh, no, I got
you're
that,
the
I
only
got
one that knows that where it
What-
is.
Like, what if we simply say something like, well, we have in need of relations with dwarves for forging of an item.
And you could
They're
even
dwarves.
say, you could even say that
They're
you're going to
dwarves.
do it at Iron Master.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just
Really
said
throw
Dwarven
them off.
Forge.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can say Dwarven Forge. You don't have to say the name of the city.
Well, that's what I said.
Or
I
really-
said
really
Dwarven
is,
Forge,
yeah.
and you were like, no. I'm like,
Yeah, but you just want to leave Volcundral out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically,
We see
the
Dwarven
cults,
Forge.
the cults with
To-
Lord
to
Crane are hunting us because they fear this holy weapon we are about to
Do not say
forge.
holy weapon. No. We seek a Dwarven Forge to malleate this object that we found, and you can show them the knob. You're like, hey,
You wanna pull
and
that
put
up?
it back in the fucking.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Need a sec. Call it a sec.
I will
We're creating.
I think it's much
So that's what you tell them.
We,
Yeah.
Is that
we've come
we've
so
come
far
to a consensus?
because we have this unmalleable
more.
thing
Can we
that
just
we want
say
to
it's
forge
Platamantium?
in we had Platamantium. We
Yeah.
had discovered a thing that we want to try the dwarven fires against.
And they fear
She's
it.
so she goes very, very interesting. You know, adjusts her glasses. Says, "Can I ask you some questions?"
I make a little gesture that I have no idea
You
what
cannot
it means.
me some directions.
Please.
I'm just kidding.
Have you ever been to Shade Rest?
Yeah, we've absolutely been to Shade Rest. That's where the pinion is.
Shut
Oh,
You guys are speaking Draconic, but you don't know if she understands it.
absolutely knows Draconic.
yeah, she definitely. But yeah,
This is
so
not where the pinion
have we been to
is.
Shade Rest or what? You're the boss, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been to Shade
Ah,
Rest.
Have you ever been inside Castle Never?
Oh. Well, burn inside.
Yeah.
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 Like some no
Say it all
secret
sexy.
haunted hall.
Yeah. You know we've been in that
I'm
bitch.
just like, I ain't gonna really lie.
I'm proud of that shit.
I am too.
Yeah, we've
But
been
that
in
was a
and
sexy
got
way to
out.
say it. That was a sexy way to say it. Yeah.
Do you know?
You ever been to Casa Never? Yeah.
Do you know the Beholder cult that dwells beneath it?
We were
No,
in
but we
and
are
out of that
interested
bitch. This
in
is
such
wonderful.
information.
I'm really super
She'll get to you that in a
scared
second.
about
Hold on
this.
a
Yeah, I
second.
know. So we just gave way too much info away.
No, we're bargaining.
Have you ever been to Castle Never? Yeah. You've been inside? Yeah.
You
Like, yeah.
you guys realize that she's piecing together information that she has.
I know what she's doing.
She has information that she's like that are just floating around, and now
Yeah.
you've told her something, and she's going,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, all of these belong together."
Yeah. That's
But one
fine.
second.
We're right at the 3-hour mark too. This is the horrible
Yeah,
part.
we're getting right to the last.
This is the horrible part. Where
So-
you're like, you been to the castle never? Yeah. No! No! Ah! The fucking end of the horror movie.
At this point, it's like a bragging thing. It's like, yeah, we've been in there.
And then lastly, she
and we survived
asks,
and got out.
What is the last thing she
her
had?
last question is, do you know Tolan the Seeker?
I look at Yasa for that.
She's like, he was my master and mentor.
Damn it. Yes,
Shiny
yes.
platinum truth.
This is all terrible. Oh man, this is either really good or really bad.
She says,
We can't say 3 yeses.
Yeah.
You been to castle ever?
yeah.
Yeah.
She says,
Yeah.
quite interesting. You've given us a lot, actually, and we want to repay you in kind. This building is proof against divinations.
Oh, that's cool.
We would like to extend our welcome to you to stay here for however long you are
Good thing
needed.
we spent that 2 gold at
Sleep in the fucking anti-divination bullshit.
Send for bread, shit.
And she says, we are certainly going to hold off our commitments with Lord Crane. You will be safely away before he realizes you were even ever here.
I'm glad we can come to a satisfying business
This
arrangement.
is garbage. Every time they say Crane's name, I get mad. Like, this is too much.
He's a prick, isn't he? I'll tell all about
the overlap, man.
I'll tell all about
Have you ever been to Castle
Zexorlash,
Everett?
the cult leader, the fighting the
Yeah.
Aboleths underneath it. And,
She will
and
definitely-
the Thayans coming in.
Yeah.
She asks you if you want to contribute this toward your current transaction, or is this a separate transaction?
This is a separate transaction because I had spent 250.
No. He's contributing. Do you want this to go more
Oh.
towards what they are helping you with right now, or do you want money back?
Oh, help the assistance.
Okay.
That's fine. What?
So, if you tell them all about what's going on in Castle
These
Never,
guys got rope rush. They got
It's a
rope
bit political
rush.
situation.
Yeah, she tallies it up.
I'm sure that'd be invaluable for broken.
so she kind of gives a last value at the end. She flashes you a sign there, Mitch, Ziridax of 1,000. So basically,
And then I go like this.
you've contributed 1,000 gold worth of information to them.
Oh, we got this.
Yeah.
And then
So
I'm like
what
this.
you've paid,
Yeah.
what you've paid physically and what you've given them, they say the total valuation of this assessment is 1,000. You've given us 1,000.
Can I sign and give it to me?
You're not getting anything
We're
back.
not getting that. We're getting.
This is
Yeah.
Store credit.
Right, store credit. This is
I know, I
this
do.
is the fact that they're not going to tell Tristan Goldring while you're in town that you're here.
Credit.
Yeah, they get to
They're not going to tell them where you're going
because
because you didn't say.
We do need to stay in the
Yeah. They're not
I
going to.
don't like. I'm
They
not
can't
staying here
tell
with you guys.
Tristan where you're going because they don't know.
I'm also not staying in that place.
Uh,
I do not like it.
But yeah, they say, stay here, do whatever, conduct whatever business you want. We will, you are our clients. We thank you for the information.
This is what you get for saying, yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Fantastic.
the following
I know.
day,
It's totally
How's it
good.
know?
yep, as
What say you?
as the
Yeah.
finale of this,
Even-
Session?
Yeah.
the next day, the contingent from Ironmaster arrives.
Hey, he can't find us. We're answering the divination thing.
Now they find you.
Except for me, I'm not in there.
You're not staying there.
Of course not.
Well, they're gonna find you.
I know. I didn't know that.
That's a
At
good
the
way of
time.
us finding them.
I didn't
if they
know
find
that.
us first.
I didn't know that at the time, but I'm not sleeping anti-divination place. Get the fuck out of here.
What? That's you're carrying around a bag. You have been. That's an
He's got
anti-divination
it.
bag.
He's got it. I'm not doing that. I'm sleeping outside under the stars.
Stupid.
Good look freezing over.
You
I
get
fucked it
murdered in your sleep.
You die. Oh.
Again.
Again?
Uh,
Every game so far.
the inn tells you that a delegation from Ironmaster has arrived. They're seeking you. Shall we send someone out to go get them?
No, thank you. What?
That's Savros saying, are we sending, are we not, or doing anything?
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
So this motley band of
who shows up?
dwarves stride in. So there's this old dwarf that
Shit, are we doing
comes
this
in.
right
I'm just telling you what they are, and you're not like that's gonna end the session. But this old dwarf, like leaning heavily on a, like it's basically a cane that he's holding here, but it goes down his arm and then straight down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's pretty heavily, like you can see his leg on his left side doesn't work that well. It looks kind of, it doesn't move the way the other leg does. Comes in, he's old, gray bearded, crag faced, just wizened looking dwarf. Just with, he has guns that like it's the entire body width of you, like just huge arms. He comes in. Behind him is the rolliest, poliest chunk of a dwarf you've ever seen. He's got a beard that gets stuck into neck folds and down his chest. Just massive, slow-looking dwarf. He is on his back. He has a keg that's strapped to it that has nails in it that are holding things, and it looks like the entire thing is a compartmentalized like box of stuff. Like it's used as a toolbox almost, but it's a keg and with hooks and pins coming out the side, holding rope and pans and all kinds of stuff. There is the thin, scraggly-looking dwarf wearing spectacles. Comes in and looking around and looks like he's judging the place immediately. Like, what's that smell?
Magic.
And then a man in armor, breastplate and chainmail, comes in with a axe, and he's kind of like, the axe is on his back, and he like strides in and hits the side of the thing and kind of gets turned around and slams into a chair and kind of like just pushes himself off of it. He seems a little bit elderly and squinting, looking around the place. And this is the 4 dwarves that come to meet you from Ironmaster.
Hello!
No. And that'll take us to the end of this session. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Next week is going to be the exciting and slow start of you guys talking to these dwarves. Talking to these dwarves and heading to Volcundral.
We're almost there, boys.
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Apparently we only have 38 sessions left.
Oh, I have this problem with like, it's just an easy quest in 3 parts. And then I don't realize, like, you guys are going to spend 8 sessions in Castle Never. Like,
12.
Yeah,
like, we did really good in Castle Never.
You did. It was really fun. Really fun.
We never even pulled our fucking swords out
a
of
lot.
that place till we fell off the fucking
side.
The trapped balcony.
No, it was good stuff. And you guys you found the metal. You need to forge it. You need to quench it. You need to bless it.
Bop it and twist it.
And you're now just starting on the forge part of it.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the forge part of
Yeah,
it.
you're getting pretty close.
Apparently.
Hopefully.
Hopefully we can carry this thing between the stages of forging it and quenching it. Because that sounds like it's going to be really hot.
Well,
quenching it is killing a dragon with it.
Oh yeah, sticking it in dragon blood. Quenching the blood. Forgot the prophecy.
Yep. And then you have to get it blessed.
Yeah.
Well, everyone that always comes and shows up. Wolfmaster317, we always appreciate you. Labaka.
Thanks for the host.
Hey man, that's cool as hell. Lord and Savior Ace, it's always neat to see you. I'm sorry you didn't think of any questions, but we're always here every Wednesday.
And you can talk, you can chat it up. We love the interaction.
We do respond quite a bit.
Yeah, every Wednesday. What's wrong with you guys?
Every Wednesday, starting at 9:30 Arizona General Mountain Time. Figure it out for yourself. There's daylight savings time. There's time zones. Blah 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 blah.
We're not on Mountain Time at the moment. Yeah, we're on
not.
Pacific.
We're Arizona General Mountain Time. It's different than Mountain Time.
We're on Arizona time.
It is called AGT, Arizona General Mountain Time.
Where'd the mountain come in? AGT.
Oh, AGNT. Anyway, whatever. Hey, he's right there. Yeah.
Hey.
So, being in Arizona makes it easy. That is correct.
Yeah. Except when you
Lord and
talk-
Savior Ace, come on back. We love seeing you guys. We love having you guys hosting us. We love having you guys watch us. We love responses. We like playing with you. We like playing for you. So we'll see you next week at 9:30 Arizona time.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Feels
Watch
good to
us
play
do this again.
Yeah.
We promise that the next session will be much slower to start.
Yeah, I promise that I will try to corral them into getting killed at some point. At least rolling some dice for
Yeah,
combat.
That's a pretty good time.
Been
If
alive
you've
way too
never
long.
really seen a total party kill, go to Wileyverse. Wileyverse, you can find it on YouTube. And there's our previous session done with vanilla D&D, and he killed us all. He did accidentally do it.
I did accidentally do
He
it.
did accidentally do it. We
I
did our best. We failed our saving throws. We died.
Yeah.
But come on back. You never know what's going to happen. We might all die. I've died in every single game we've ever played.
Except
I have
this
lost a
one.
character except for this one.
Everyone that we broadcast.
So you never know.
Yeah.
You could
You
just
didn't die in Shadowrun. You didn't die in Rifts.
True.
So.
It's true.
Not the original Rifts. The Rifts we broadcast we did. Yeah.
My
All right.
wrist stuff was terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey guys, thanks for coming. We're here every Wednesday, 9:30 Arizona time. We'll see you next
Good
week.
night.
Please come on back. We love having you.